1. We're good.
What's up, Overguard? This is Gozy, joined alongside here by Bella391. She's going to be the co-commentator / camera worker B for us today in the semifinals of the Overguard Community Cup. First up, we're going to see Relapse versus Ego. Relapse being the team in red currently, and Ego being the team in blue. We're going to start things off on King's Row. This is going to be a best-of-3 series, leading us into the finals. So whoever wins this is going to kick off straight to the finals. And I think we're waiting on the last quarterfinal match between Final 6 and 24K. I think it's, what is it, The Boys? 3 Boys? I don't know their name, but they're already in the semifinals on that side of the bracket. So once Final 6 and 24K establish a winner, we're going to be moving them on to the semifinals as well. And we're going to jump into that match as soon as this one's over. So without further ado, Bella, do you got anything to add? Or are we going to jump straight in?
I'm excited. I think we're going to see some fantastic Pharah Mercy gameplay from both teams. Erica known for her Mercy, Napalm known for his Pharah. I'm excited to see this matchup.
Too bad they're not on the same team, right? Then you could just get the Pharah Mercy going
Yeah.
on. Like, it just they need to make that switch happen.
Although Six God has proved that he's not a bad Mercy whatsoever. He's doing a fantastic job. Mercy is a new pickup for him.
Well, that's good. That's good. You got to be versatile when you're talking about playing supports. You got to be able to play them all, to include Miss Mercy. You got to be able to get on there and zip around a little bit and stay alive. So, Mr. Dirty Vegas, whenever you're ready, let's go ahead and kick this thing off between these two titans of teams, Relapse and Ego, in the semifinals here. So I haven't caught much of this tournament. You've been running it for the most part, Bella. What have we seen out of Relapse and Ego so far? I mean, I know you mentioned the Mercy and the Pharah. Have we seen any other kind of odd picks or anything that stands out in your head?
We've seen the team did get put out of the play by I believe they lost to Eminent. I don't remember what their team name was, but we actually did see an attack Bastion take somebody all the way through Dorado to last point. They were unable to kill him.
Really?
It was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get on there and protect that Prez, it's pretty GG. You gotta go around and formulate a whole different plot when it comes down to it. We paused the game. We're coming back in. Okay. Yeah, that protect the Prez can catch teams off guard at times.
Absolutely.
You know, and if you're not quick to adjust to it, they can just steamroll from that point. So you got to be real quick on catching that Bastion.
We've seen a lot of Pharah Mercy today. But we've also seen people switch it up on Koth. Go to, a lot of people will run the double backliners with a Zenyatta and a Lucio. We're seeing lots of good stuff.
That sounds like fun. Very interesting to see.
Is Comedy
Relapse going to be
supposed
your
to be
team.
on Six God?
I don't think so. I don't think Comedy's in.
Are they I know Comedy has not played up to this point.
Spectator. Relapse is going to be your team in red. They're going to be coming out on the attack first. Ego, your team in blue. They've already made their way out of the spawn point. So we're going to be seeing the triple tank double support, single DPS coming out with that Pharmacy being the DPS. Six God, of course, like you mentioned, playing on that Mercy with Napalm up in the skies on the Pharah. We got OG Comedy on the Zarya. Such a clutch coming out on that Roadhog. Marked is playing on the Reinhardt. We got Legit sitting there on that Lucio. Relapse starting to make their way out through the first choke point here on King's Row to start us off here in the semifinals here on Xbox One. They're going to be coming out with a double tank, double DPS, double support line. So the 2-2-2, I kind of like that setup when it comes down to it. I like the play style of a 2-2-2 over a 3-2-1 or something similar to that. We do see a good charge coming out from the side of Relapse, charging right in, but he pays the price for that as he gets hooked in by such a clutch and taken out. United Kills and Zergo both picking off one apiece right there, with Ego coming back almost immediately. 4 picks coming in right away, with Napalm picking up a 2-piece in all of that. So Ego able to hold on through the first little push that Relapse put together. I think that was a great push that Relapse tried to do, but ultimately Napalm up there was not contested, and he was just able to have free reign on that back line. Ego now making their next push in here. A good hook again from such a clutch. Pulls in the Reinhardt. He does not take him out, but they do end up finishing off. Napalm does. We got a whole hog coming out from such a clutch now as he pushes the remainder of Relapse off the point with another good hold. That is Ego coming in. Still no loss of life on the side of Ego. Relapse not doing a very good job of singling out targets and being able to take them out. We don't see any lineup changes coming out from the side of Ego just yet, but hopefully we do see something that can kind of combat Napalm, because as you saw just now, he got another pick onto Sir James Parker. So looks like they are trying to change it up. Sir James Parker going off and switching to that soldier. That could be a good pick for the side of Relapse. Try to put some pressure onto Napalm, get him out of the sky. OG Comedy picking up one for the side of Ego as he takes out Zergo in the charge coming from, I'm sorry, what's that tank's name? 100, yeah. He charges out to keep himself alive since they were down one. Relapse gonna have to make a good push here. They're just shy of 2 minutes still left on the clock with United Kills ready to go with his ultimate. We're gonna see Erica's very soon. Hundreds and Zergo's ready as well. They're gonna lead in with that Transcendence as well as the Graviton Surge coming out from Ego. 2 picks falling in favor of Ego right now as Napalm and Mark pick up one apiece. There's the breakdown from Ego to keep the remainder of the team alive as they push forward into Relapse and push them into the spawn point. OG Comedy getting the last pick onto Zergo, and Erica falls as well. So Relapse not doing a terrific job here, but that pick could set things apart right there. Sir James Parker taking out 6God. They got to push in with that pick. They're man down. Ego is a man down, and they got to push in with that. Here comes the breakdown from Relapse, and United Kills gets his Dragon Blade out immediately, taking out legit. Napalm finishing off Zergo, and that's the only pick falling for Ego right now. Attack Visor comes out from Sir James Parker. He takes out OG Comedy. There's 6God coming in with a beast res, bringing them back to life, able to contest the point. They do have one tick in their favor right now. That is the side of Relapse. Relapse still fighting on the point. Here goes Such a Clutch with his whole hog. He picks off one, getting Yuki out. Still over there is 100 and Erica trying to contest the point for Relapse right now. OG Comedy takes out Zergo. And that could be another push negated by the side of Ego. Very strong gameplay out of Ego so far on the defense. What do you think, Miss Bella?
I think they're just not fully able to deal with the Pharaoh Mercy right now. I think that has been consistently what's helping them. And I really think Relapse needs to switch something up.
I couldn't agree more with you. We did see Sir James Parker switch off and go onto that soldier, but it's still not enough. Relapse still doesn't have the pressure to be able to push through. And I think we're seeing Ego use their ults a lot better. We just saw a good Graviton Surge into a Rocket Barrage. And I mean, it's just all Ego here. We do see a little bit of presence here by Relapse, but OG Comedy is starting to clear that up as he takes out United and Zergo. The payload does get capped, or the point does get capped, so Relapse is going to have a little bit of time to move this thing through the street phase. They didn't get full held, but man, was that last minute. Ego did a terrific job holding them off. If they're able to just hold in the street phase here, that could spell a little bit of trouble for the side of Relapse. They're going to have a couple ults rolling into this with 6God, Legit, and Marked coming in. Relapse side of house, we're going to see Sir James Parker's Tac Visor coming out pretty soon with Zergo's Trank and United Kills. So they're going to have both DPS ults ready to go on the side of Relapse. We're also going to see hundreds and Erica's probably within the next team fight or so for the side of Relapse. Next team fight is underway. We do see Sir James Parker and the Transcendence coming out. So 2 ults already used up by Relapse. There's the Earth Shatter coming out from 100, and he capitalizes on that with a Flame Strike onto Such a Clutch, taking him out. They are really cleaning up the payload right now. Yuki picking up a 2-piece in that team fight as she finishes off Mert and a 1 other. Zergo taking out Erica, and the payload's going to continue to move forward. Relapse, although I said it at the first point, they weren't doing a terrific job utilizing ults. They had to use almost all their ults for that one right there, but it got the job done. It's going to get them through the street phase here. They're going to have a minute on the clock by the time they get to this first point here. Such Clutch drops to Sir James Parker right there, and so already 1 man up is Relapse. Now it's United Kills coming in huge with a Dragon Blade as he takes out OG Comedy, Legit, and Mark. They're going to cap it. Now they're going to have just shy of 2.5 minutes to push this thing through the final Foundry phase. What do you think about the changes that came out of Relapse? Although they didn't change up the lineup too much, utilizing their ults a lot better seems to be working out in their favor. Am I right, Bella?
Absolutely. They are working so much more together. And I think it potentially was just Ego was going right into this match hot from their last match. I think we're just seeing these guys warm up.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like a proper assumption there. It does seem like they were a little bit cold at the start, but now that they're kind of rolling, they're using all their ults very well. We see Zergo popping out that Transcendence right there. Although 6God did take out United and Napalm, who has now switched over to the Tracer. So now they've gotten rid of the Pharah, and they've got the Tracer. Do you think we're going to see a change up for this side of Relapse to kind of combat the Tracer now?
I think it's going to depend how much of a problem the Tracer becomes. It seems like I mean, they did regain this point right here, so
right.
Potentially might see a McCree.
Yeah, such clutch is sitting on a McCree right now. We could see a McCree out of the side of Relapse to combat that Tracer. Napalm getting those 2 picks in that team fight, allowing them to stabilize the point. That was a big pin out of 100 right there. The Deadeye gets reflected. United kills with a good deflect onto such a clutch, punishing him for that one, putting him down. United kills, finishing off Napalm, and then dashing through 6 God as well. We get the attack visor coming out from Sir James Parker, trying to clean things up. They're going to be able to push this thing with about a minute, just shy of a minute still on the clock. It's all going to be trickle now from this point forward for this side of Ego. Ego with 3 on the point. Napalm coming out to help his team. Mark ends up falling to United kills. OG Comedy takes out 100, but the kills are falling all in Relapse favor right now. Sir James Parker and Zergo finish off 2. Big Helix rocket comes out from Sir James Parker as he gets 2 more, finishing off Legit and such clutch. Marked is back, but I don't think he's going to be long for this world. He gets taken out by Sir James Parker, and we're going to see Relapse push that thing through with 25 seconds still on the clock. Some good pushes by Relapse. Towards the end, they, like you were saying, it looked like they got warmed up, kind of in the zone. Definitely looked like they were utilizing their ults and teamwork a lot better than Ego was at the very start.
Yeah, I think Ego's going to need to switch up what they're playing here if they want to counter. They're just, I don't know, I think Relapse is just having better ults this round.
They definitely are. I think if Ego's got any chance of coming back to secure any sort of time on the clock, they're going to have to do a lot better on their ult usage. They need to play this like they were playing the first 4 minutes of the map when they were on this first point. They were holding Relapse so well, using their ults, trickling them in, getting the, focusing down one particular target. As the rest of the match progressed, we saw a little bit of dysfunction out of the side of Ego. They weren't capitalizing on picks as well. They were not getting the picks as well, for that matter. And they just weren't doing a good enough job of singling out targets and focusing them down. They were kind of spread out.
I'm excited to see some Mercy gameplay out of Erica. Just prove time and time again that she is such a force to be reckoned with. And she's on defense now, so I think we're going to see some great gameplay.
I hope so. Really hoping to see some good gameplay out of both of these teams. I mean, what we saw out of Relapse, that's pretty good tier, high tier stuff. Yeah. They were utilizing their ults. Yeah, they were just utilizing their ults so well. Great combos. Everything they did, it had an after effect, and it trickled very well into the end time. They didn't start out with a ton of time on the clock, but they still ended it with some time on the clock. So good job out of Relapse coming on strong towards the end there. Ego now going to have their turn at the attack. We do see them coming out with a triple tank setup once again. They're going to be utilizing 6 God on an Ana this time. Legit's going to be on the Lucio, and we're going to see the Napalm Reaper come out. And he is very strong on that Reaper, as we already see, taking out 100. Such clutch, picks up 2 right there. Ego gonna be strong here. They've got to follow up. It's a 3 versus 3 right now, and they do have spawn advantage. Yuki taking out Legit. OG Comedy picking up a 2-piece, picking up a 3-piece. It is all on the shoulders of OG Comedy right now.
My God.
Able to clutch it up. That just wasn't the same Relapse we saw throughout the street phase. It definitely wasn't as strong of gameplay out of them. They did not win the team fight just because they weren't able to focus people down. Once again, we said that on the Ego side of the house, but now Ego's doing a terrific job of that, and Relapse kind of falling. I don't know what it is about teams when they switch things up. They kind of lose that momentum they carried over from the offensive side of the house. So, I mean, we'll have to see what Relapse can do. There's plenty of time on the clock for them to chew off here. Ego, though, got a lot of time to move forward through this street phase. We do see such a clutch is on the side over there trying to fish for a hook. He lands it onto 100. Now that's an out of place Reinhardt, and they're going to push him. We do see the Reinhardt for the side of Ego pushing him, and it's a 1v1 on the side. Now a 2v2 with Zergo coming over to try to help. He ends up getting taken out by Napalm. Napalm finishing off 100 as well. So 2 down for the side of Relapse. There's that res coming out to bring the team back. Now we see 100 hammered down in the back. Gets a good charge onto Such Clutch, but taken out as Such Clutch gets the nano boost onto him. Zergo falls as well to Such a Clutch. Payload is stalled right now. We do see a little bit of stall coming out from Erica and Sir James Parker up top with that saucy little rocket barrage, saving his team, coming in clutch, taking out Legit and Napalm. Relapse able to hold on here. I didn't see it coming. I think it was based on just the res. Am I right? Erica coming into res.
Really,
that's all it is. That is all it is. You come on good with a good res. But you play a Mercy, right? So it's not just all about the res. It's not just you coming in and getting a saucy, the timing and then what your team can do with it afterwards, right? Because sometimes you get surprised when you get picked up. So
what many people don't believe is you can have a bad 4 or 5 man res. You really can.
Right, you can get wiped right back up. And I mean, we didn't see it there, but it definitely could have went that way with some better ult utilization out of the side of Ego. Although they are on the attack right now, bringing the payload forward through the street phase was still just shy of 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining on the clock when that happened. It ticked over. Now they're going to have 5 minutes to carry this thing through the final phase here. Yeah, the Mercy reses, man, I can never get a team like when I'm playing quick play or any sort of play. Anytime a Mercy comes in, it's always wasted. I never see a good Mercy res, so maybe I'm just playing with the wrong Mercies. I don't really know.
Potentially. I think people they discount Mercy a lot because her controls are arguably the easiest on the game.
Right.
Her timing is not easy.
No, you gotta know what you're doing to be able to play a good Mercy and the ability to stay alive. We do see a good team fight coming out right now. Sir James Parker was up top. He got the nano, but he got the hook as well. Such a clutch, clutching it up, hooking him in, taking him out before he's able to do any further damage. United kills, gets the tag visor going, finishes off Such a Clutch. Marked also falls to Yuki, who picks up a 2-piece in that team fight. Relapse able to stabilize on the payload here. They're going to have to do a lot better job if they plan to hold this thing off for the remainder of the 4 minutes that is on the clock. As far as lineups go, we're not seeing much of a change out of them. We see 100 and Yuki ready to go with their ult. So we're going to get a Graviton Surge and an Earth Shatter ready. For the side of Ego, they're going to be walking into this team fight with 4 ults. We see 6God throwing out a saucy nano boost, and there's the Earth Shatter coming out from 2. Death Blossom comes from Napalm, picks up a 2-piece. Mark finishing off 1. Such a Clutch gets 1 as well. They're on the hunt trying to finish off the Mercy, and they do. They're pushing the payload forward. It's going to be all trickle for this side of Relapse. We see, who was it? United try to get back. He gets taken out before he can even touch payload, and it's going to cap with 3 minutes and 33 seconds on the clock. Man, oh man, that was some good time.
Such a time advantage.
Right, they are. I mean, there's not much you can really do about it. They're going to get the extra time as well. Since there was only 25 seconds on the clock for Relapse, is going to be added to the Ego side as well. So they're going to have 4 minutes now on the clock. And this is going to be down to probably just first point. I'm going to think that Ego is going to be able to first point hold this through this overtime here. Any prediction from you, Bella?
I don't see how they couldn't hold this first point. They have such a time advantage, and I don't know, but the thing is, both teams had a really hard time holding this first point. I think we're actually going to see a street phase hold here.
You think so? With a minute on the clock?
I think so.
All right, there's the prediction, guys.
Such a hard time. Such a hard time.
Well, I don't know. Ego that first time though through, they were able to hold them off until just about overtime on that first point to start things off. So I don't know if Relapse plays the way they did at the latter half of the match when they first were on attack, then yeah, Ego could be in a lot of trouble here. So I guess it kind of comes down to Relapse. It's kind of Relapse's to lose at this point. Relapse
needs
to
come in here and take this point.
Yeah, they definitely do. They're going to have to come in very strong. I don't know. I kind of would have probably went with more of a dive comp than a sit back and poke comp.
Absolutely.
But hey, each team to his own, right? Relapse coming in. They're going to be using a 2-2-2 comp with the Genji and Sir James Parker sitting on that Soldier 76. They're already on the point, trying to contest things up. 100 trying to help his team out. He charges in. Now his team is left without a shield. United gets taken out by OG Comedy. Zergo finishes off 6God. Such a Clutch takes out 100. Such a Clutch coming in. Takes out Yuki. Swinging the hammers. Mark finishes off Zergo. Flame strikes Erica. And that's going to be 40 seconds already chewed off the clock for the side of Relapse. They're going to have one more push to be able to make this thing happen. They've got to come in very strong. We don't see any change up in the lineup coming out, so they're going to have to move in with what they got. We see the charge coming out from 100. Immediately a charge back for the side of Ego. And Sir James Parker and Zergo get one apiece. Yuki gets one. 3 in favor of Relapse. There's the hammer down. Such a clutch. Takes out one. The Dragon Blade from United Kills gets marked. But that's all he's going to get as he's taken out by Such a Clutch. Yuki takes him out. And this is Relapse. You called it. It is in overtime. We're seeing a street phase here for the side of Relapse. I can't believe you called that, to be honest with you. I thought Ego was going to be able to hold this thing. Very good ult utilization out of Relapse. And very good focus fire from that team. You know they're in comms right now, just screaming targets.
I don't know, there's something about this map in this kind of overtime that I feel like I just see again and again. People get held here in street phase and not on that first point.
Right. Well, there's still a ton of time on the clock for Ego, so no matter what, as long as they get in and contest a little bit here, they're going to have 2 ults to be able to do something with. They've got legit and Such Clutch breakdown and the whole hog coming out. There's both of those being utilized right now for the side of Ego. Here comes the Transcendence and the Graviton Surge from Relapse. 3 picks, 4 picks now for Relapse. They might get this gravy train moving. The Payload could keep trucking through this street phase here. It's all snowball from this point. Don't eat the yellow snow, though.
Oh, no. We're going to see a third point.
Yeah, we are going to see a final section here on Kings Row. I've seen it time and time again, like you said, where teams are able to push through this all through overtime. It's just about getting that first point and then able to truck through after that. Ego coming in. There's the Graviton Surge. 2 picks falling for the side of Relapse. A good breakdown coming out from Erica, keeping her team alive. That was absolute clutch for that Lucio. Zergo taking out Marked. Here comes the Dragon Blade out of United, but it's not going to do much. Sir James Parker finishes off legit before Relapse really is able to use that Dragon Blade. I think they should have waited to use the Dragon Blade a little bit. Probably held on to it to this final section.
That would have put them in a much more advantageous spot here.
Right, it most definitely would have. Relapse making their way through the final section now where they're sitting at about 35 meters with a little bit more to go. Ego now going to have to really clutch things up if they plan to hold this thing. That's not how you're going to do it, though. 100 taking out Mark with a good flame strike. Following up is United Kills as he takes out OG Comedy. There goes the Transcendent from Relapse, keeping the team up. Such a Clutch does get a pick onto 100. Napalm's in the back, trying to aggravate the back line of Relapse right now, trying to get a pick onto somebody, but he gets taken out by Zergo on that Zenyatta. The Zenyatta picking up a 2-piece right there for the side of Relapse. United Kills and Sir James Parker getting the other 2. Sir James Parker looking and trying to go on the hunt for Marked right now. Mark charging in, trying to get some defense for the side of Ego, but it's not gonna happen. Sir James Parker pops out that tac visor. Here comes Six God with the Transcendent stall on the point. Ego trying their hardest to not let this onslaught happen. Relapse getting out that gorgeous Graviton Surge, finishing him up. Ego lose that one. I don't even know. Through overtime, Relapse able to take that thing all 3 points.
Now, Ego does have 4 minutes, but that is a hard point to cap. That is a hard point to cap with full time.
Right. I mean, and if you're Ego, you might be a little tilted at this point. You know, all you had to do was clear them off. None of your ults worked. I mean, we saw 1 or 2 Graviton Surges that were not so good for the side of Zergo. So they're definitely gonna have to clean things up, use their ults a lot better if they have any plans on pushing this thing. What do you think, Twitch chat? Pretty crazy, right? Full overtime, clear through Kings Row. We've seen it happen before. It's not really a surprise, but I love seeing it.
No mercy.
I never get that in comp, though. Like, when I play comp, never happens. We always get first point.
No, we always get held. Yeah, that's always the way comp works.
My team never clutches up.
That's the nature of comp, though.
It really is. It really is. All right, so Ego now going to have 4 minutes on the clock to be able to push this thing. They're going to be maybe coming out with a May. I don't know if Such Clutch has really really coming out on that. Relapse still sticking with their 2-2-2 setup that they've been running with United and Sir James Parker as the DPS on defense here. Ego coming out with a 2-2, or I guess, yeah, somewhat of a 2-2-2. Yuki taking out March right there. The May, I'm not sure about that pick if you're the side of Ego. Napalm coming out with that Reaper. He gets taken out by Zergo. United kills and Sir James Parker combined for 1 kill apiece. Relapse able to stave off these first push by Ego. Yeah, I think that if you're Ego, you gotta go with what you know. We do see such clutch going back to that Roadhog. I think a very good pick for him. He's gonna come through the back line, gets a hook onto Mark. He could be in a little bit of trouble. He gets taken out by United Kills. United Kills getting that first pick. That is absolutely crucial if you're the side of Relapse. You gotta follow it up though. Zergo and Sir James Parker taking out 1 and 2. United gets another one as he takes out 6 God OG. Not long for this world. Gets taken out by Sir James Parker. And Relapse able to hold off once more. 3 minutes now on the clock. They've chewed off 1 minute of time for the side of Ego. Ego gonna have to really clutch things up here and move forward. We do see 6 God coming out off of the Ana and now pushing out onto that Mercy. Napalm coming out with the Pharah. So they're gonna try the Pharmacy once again. I think that's a good pick if you're Ego. Get that air presence out. Get a little bit of damage separation off of your shield. Such a clutch coming out, trying to put some pressure down. 100, getting a good hammer down. Taking out OG Comedy with that. A good dash from United Kills. Takes out Such Clutch. Yuki picking up a 2-piece. Finishing off Mark and finishing off 6 God. Napalm does get 1, but it's not going to be enough for the side of Ego. Ego visiting the spawn point once again. They're going to have to really put in some work. We're seeing the ult timers start to tick up for the side of Ego. They still got plenty of time on the clock. 2 minutes and 15 seconds still remaining. So start getting some ults ready to go. Here comes the breakdown from Relapse as well as the Graviton Surge. Immediately, Ego breaking it down, trying to keep the team up, but it's too late. 2 picks already falling in favor of Relapse, and there's 2 more as Yuki and Erica finish off OG Comedy and Legit. Sir James finishing off Napalm in the back, and that's going to separate them out a little bit. We got 1 minute and 50 seconds still on the clock for Ego. They really got to do a better job of utilizing their ults. I don't know why they use their breakdown without any other ults coming in. So I think that was a little bit of a waste. Probably should have waited on that one. Ego starting to make their way through. We do see them going through the hotel on that far left side here. Up top is Sir James Parker raining it down. Napalm up top trying to get some picks. Does get 1. Takes out Zergo. Mark finishes off Yuki. It is all blue in the kill feed. Ego able to really take it to him on that push. They had to utilize 3 ults to make that happen. OG Comedy, Napalm, actually 2 ults. Napalm and OG Comedy, the only 2 to use their ult. Relapse has already used all theirs, so it could be a spicy little street phase here for the side of Ego. If you're Napalm, you really, or I'm sorry, if you're Relapse, you really got to focus here and be able to stop them in this street phase. Pull back a little bit, wait for your guys to regroup, and come at them strong. Win these first team fights. They've only got 45 seconds on the clock. Losing Sir James Parker right off the start is not how you want things to go, though. Relapse going to be in a little bit of trouble as they now have to back up even further because they've lost their Soldier 76s. They've got no contest. Such Clutch is up front. He's got the Genji Blade going. He ends up getting taken out by Yuki, so it's 1-1. Relapse can fight this now. They're going to have the spawn advantage. Sir James Parker makes his way forward, so now it's 6 versus 5 on the point with 18 seconds still remaining. There goes the Earth Shatter coming from 100. Pins down 1. Sir James Parker finishes off Merc. We do see Such Clutch switch over to the Tracer in the back. There's the Rez coming from Ego, bringing them all back, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. There's the Graviton Surge from the side of Relapse. They're trying to clean them up, and they are. United Kills with a big Dragon Blade, picking up a 2-piece. Zergo finishing off OG Comedy, and that's a win for the side of Relapse.
4-6.
I think that was a case of Napalm, Ego just, they did not have the ults to contest.
They really didn't. I mean, they did get the res from 6 God, but it was one of those that we were discussing earlier. Just not a very good res. Zergo coming in with the play of the match on that Zenyatta. I think this is where he might have picked up the 2-piece. We do see him focusing down Such a Clutch and gets help from Sir James Parker to take him out. Finishes off Napalm in the back. Very good gameplay out of that Zenyatta. Always love that guy on Zenyatta. He does terrific work.
Epic.
Wonderful.
All right, so map number 2, we are going to see where Ego wants to go. It's going to be between, what is it? Nepal and Hanamura. So it's up to them to decide. Just so you guys have a little bit of information, Final 6 took out 24K in the quarterfinals, so they are moving on to the semis. So we're going to see Final 6 versus the boys in the semis on that side of the bracket. All right, let us pop into Discord real quick and figure out where these teams want to go in regards to what map here. What is it? Napalm is Ego, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thick boys. Thick boys. Thank you, Brett. Thank you. Not the boys. Thick boys. My bad. You know me, guys. I'm horrible with names. I'm surprised I'm getting Bella's right.
I'm surprised you get your own name right.
Dude, I am too. Half the time I forget my name, especially when I play on Xbox because I've got the different tag. So I want to call myself as Timnix instead of Gozy. It's just something, you know, you got to get used to, I guess. I don't know. I'm new to the whole PlayStation side, so I've actually always been Timnix. I've never really been Gozy.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
It's kind of new for me. When I played World of Warcraft, I was Box, BHOX. So I'm recent. I'm new to Gozy. Like, that's a new thing for me. Next map is going to be Nepal, Mr. Dirty Vegas. So you can go ahead and kick that thing up.
And this is 1 to relapse, right?
Yes, Relapse taking map number 1 in the semifinals here. Looks like we got some good conversation going on in the Twitch chat. Lightning McQueen blew a 1-lap lead in the Piston Cup, but he did secure victory in that. So, hey, props to Lightning McQueen. Ka-chow, ka-chow. Good job, sir.
What are you talking about?
That's Twitch chat, man. It's
Twitch chat. That's all you gotta say is
Twitch
Twitch
chat.
chat. Like, okay,
that's
I got
Twitch chat. Who is his mentor? It was the Hudson Hornet. Was that it? I don't remember. Twitch chat, inform me. Make me informed. All right, so we are on Nepal. This is map number 2 here in the semifinals at the Overguard Community Cup. This is Xbox One, might I add, between Ego and Relapse. Relapse taking map number 1 on Kings Row through overtime, capping 3 points. Absolutely epic map. If you miss it, you're going to have to watch the VOD. It was absolutely spectacular. They blew, Ego blew a 4-minute lead to lose to Relapse. All right, so now we got both teams starting to make their way out here to the central point. It's going to be unlocking here in about 15 seconds. Relapse electing to take the high ground. Sir James Parker getting the first pick for the side of Ego as he takes out Six God, using that Tracer to his advantage. 100 finishing off OG Comedy. We got a spicy little charge coming out here from Mark. He gets a good kill onto 100, and it is just back and forth. It is all out chaos and brawling going on. First on the point is Ego. Looks like they might be able to secure things. It is a 3v2 on the point. Legit is over there trying to make things happen on that Lucio. He is just distracting United Kills. He might not be long for this world, though, as Sir James Parker comes in to try to help him out. United Kills gets taken out by Six God. We do see Relapse starting to trickle back in now. OG Comedy finishes off 100, and it is still back and forth. Yuki off point, trying to put some pressure down, gets a bubble onto his Zenyatta, saving his life. Sir James Parker picks up a 2-piece, finishing off Legit and one other. Napalm does get a pick onto Zergo, but it's not going to be enough. Relapse loses the first point here. Ego going to be taking the first percentage on the point. What do you think about Koth between these two teams?
I think both teams are able to run a very strong double backliner. It's interesting to see how they're both interacting with each other. We're not seeing too many tracer battles, or they're all fighting as a team.
Right, I mean, it's pretty much a mirror comp between these two teams. So it's just who plays it better at this point. Ego doing a terrific job. We do see a good Earth Shatter from Mark come out as he takes out one, finishes off another, Flame Strike for 2.
My
What?
God.
Finishing off Erica and Zergo. So both supports eating that fire. Good job to the side of Relapse. Marked with the backpack on that Reinhardt. Able to carry his team to that point for victory. Relapse, very good work on that team fight. Ego now making their way back. They've got their team. They're going to elect to go high ground. Such a clutch. Diving in with that Genji blade. Immediately, the Transcendence comes out for the side of Ego to try to keep the team alive. Six God still with his, but he dies before he can use it. United kills, picks up 2. Sergeant Parker gets 1. Marked does finish off Zergo, but it's not going to be enough. Ego is going to be able to take this team fight and be able to take back over the point. They did not let Relapse get it to equal percentage before they took it over. So Ego is going to be hanging on to this map here to start things off for us. Napalm, Six God, and OG Comedy ready to go with their ults. Ego throwing out the Graviton Surge. And immediately Erica breaking it down. Six God bringing out the Transcendence, trying to keep the team alive. Relapse throwing out a Graviton Surge of their own. 3 picks falling in favor of Ego, but OG and Napalm trying to even it up, but they get taken out. United kills with that Genji blade, finishing off 2. OG Comedy, the latest victim of that. Last one up is going to be up top. It's such clutch. He's trying to put some pressure down, but he ends up backing up to join his team. Relapse going to have to make another go of it here, as Ego is now sitting on just about 75% for Nepal's first map here. United kills, charging in, trying to get a little bit of pressure onto Mark in the back. Mark with a big hammer down, finishes off OG Comedy. I'm sorry, finishes off Yuki. 100 finishes off OG Comedy. So both Reinhardts for both teams putting in some solid work. Zergo picking up a 2-piece on that Zenyatta. Gets such a clutch, and he gets a 1 other. Point is still going to remain in favor of Ego here. We do see Legit trying to go in the back and contest a little bit, but immediately he gets spotted out by 100 and finished off with a good flame strike, or I'm sorry, with a good pin. Mark trying to charge in to contest here. We do see the Transcendence coming out from Ego, trying to keep his team alive through this team fight, and he will. We do see all the picks falling for Ego right now as 100 and United kills. Sergeant Parker as well chiming in for some kills. There goes the Genji blade coming out from Relapse, trying to get a kill off, but he doesn't. Erica finishes him off with that Lucio, and that's going to be a first map win here for Relapse on Nepal. We're going to go to map number 2. All King of the Hills are best of 3, or I'm sorry, best of 5. So you got to win 3 on a King of the Hill.
We need to get the name switched.
I did do that.
Oh, we got to get the name switched.
Oh, we
okay.
did? Okay.
Sorry, my apologies.
No problem.
My bad, guys. I just call what I see. I just call what I see. Bella's trying to set me up for failure here.
All right, they should be good.
There you go. My bad, guys. I'm not too terribly familiar with Xbox side of the Overguard. I kind of got to get back into the swing of things. I haven't commentated in a while, so forgive me. That's my fault, guys. I know, bad excuse, bad commentator. Hashtag deport Gozy. All right, so Ego going to be coming out in the red. Relapse coming out in the blue. Relapse is going to be Erica's team, and they look like they look pretty strong in that first point. Although I was calling Ego. I don't know. All right, so first picks are going to fall to the blue side as United kills 100. Yuki and Sir James Parker pick up 1 apiece right there. Yuki picking up another one to give her 2 in this team fight. Mark gets a quick pick onto Yuki, but Sir James Parker evens that out, finishing off Merc. First point is going to fall here to Relapse. First percentage, however, for that matter, is going to fall to Relapse as they take this thing over here. Gonna see what Ego can do. They're gonna have to figure something out. They were doing pretty well on their team fights on that first map. I think they need to do a lot better utilizing their ults coming forward. We do see the Relapse throwing out that Tracer Bomb. Ends up picking up nobody. That was Sir James Parker. He ends up getting taken out by Napalm. Big charge from 100 as well. Mark tries to charge in, but he ends up getting taken out by Yuki. There goes the Dragon Blade from United kills. Picks up 2, dashes through another, finishes off the last, and that's 5 picks for the side of Relapse. United kills, just putting in work on that Genji. I really think they need to come up with something to contest that Genji. If you're Ego, do you go for the contest, Bella?
I think you do. We're looking at plenty of squishies. They're running 2-2. I mean, I don't see... I mean, this might be controversial, but I don't see why you don't try a Winston.
Right, I love Winston. We got to get the 8-man some time, right? We got to get him some playtime. Gotta get him
We
some
saw him
playtime.
earlier in some earlier matches, and I think he was plenty viable.
Yeah, I mean, if you can formulate your team around him to do some good work, it can always balance out. We do see a lot of ults being used right now. Ego trying their hand at the nano boost. There goes the Graviton Surge from Relapse. They're going to be looking to clean things up here. Yuki picking up a 2-piece. United kills. Man, that dude is just putting in some work. A good dash through. Six God finishes him off. Yuki finishing off another. So, again, why not go for it? You're losing all the team fights at this point. Why not change it up and try to go for that?
I think that's absolutely what needs to happen. They are throwing some ults out.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna necessarily be enough though. They're gonna win this one team fight, but then we're gonna be back to Relapse side of the house. We got United kills ready to go with his Dragon Blade, and they've got nothing to really contest it. Six God doesn't have his Transcendence ready, so it's gonna be cleanup for Relapse here. That's all they gotta do is win this last team fight, and they're gonna take a 2-0 advantage here on Nepal. OG Comedy does have his Graviton Surge. Yeah, they've got to use that smart here. They got to probably put it in that room right now if I were them. Oh, that is an interruption for the side of Relapse there as they get a good hammered down. Such Clutch comes in, though, with a big pulse bomb. Takes out 3, finish off a 4th, finish off a 5th. And let's get a hashtag gong in the chat for a full team wipe. Ego holding on here, able to clutch it up is such a clutch. I guess he goes hand in hand with his name, right?
I guess so. That was a beautiful, what was that, 4? 4 out of that.
He got 5 total out of that.
5.
He ended up getting 3 with the Pulse Bomb and then finishing off 2 afterwards. But that's going to be all the ults they're going to have. We're going to see Six God maybe ready to go with his Transcendence pretty soon, but Napalm gets taken out. Such Clutch does take out Sir James Parker, so it's 1-1 right now. Six God evening it up right there, takes out 2. Man, Six God coming in for his team. He does get 2, but he gets taken out. So does Mark Legit, gets a good boop onto Zergo. Yuki falls to OG Comedy. It looks like Ego gonna be able to hold off one more team fight and be able to get their team back and ready to go for this next team fight. Ego really putting up a good fight here. They're going to have ults walking into this next team fight. Six God's ready to go with his Transcendence. We're going to see Mark Legit, Such a Clutch already, probably within this team fight as well. Relapse side of the house, we've got 2 ready. We're going to see probably Yuki's ready to go, probably towards the end of the team fight, so we're going to have to see how that all works out. Probably going to come down huge on that Graviton Surge that Yuki could potentially throw out. There goes the Transcendence from both teams right now. Big charge from the side of Ego, getting that Transcendence out of there. They're able to capitalize on that, getting 2 picks is Napalm and Legit. Good Helix Rocket finishes off Zergo. Erica, Yuki falls. Big pulse bomb from Sir James Parker, but he's already dead. Not able to capitalize on that, and that's a victory for Ego. Able to hold on. They use their ults so terrifically.
Score 1-1.
Yeah, I think Ego's really getting in their stride. They're really figuring out what they want to do to counter this Genji that was messing them up earlier.
They, I don't know, if they can do that same kind of work here, obviously they don't want to put themselves in the same kind of situation where they give Relapse 99%, but if they can, you know, get their momentum going a little sooner than that, you know, where they don't have to clutch it up, I think they'll be in a lot better position to take this map altogether. Bonpao says Comedy got 100 charge for the first time ever in Overwatch. I don't know, man. I've seen Comedy put in some good work. Put in some very good work.
Definitely put in work on King's Row first round.
Right, definitely did. All right, so both teams making their way to the first point here. Napalm finishing off 2, get Zergo and Yuki to start us off here. Napalm switching over to the Reaper. I think a very good choice for the side of Ego. Legit and Such Clutch finish off 1 apiece, and OG Comedy chimes in for another one. So we were talking about OG Comedy, and there he goes. Finishing off that Tracer. Such Clutch takes out United kills, and Ego is going to be able to take this first point here. I think that Napalm going on the Reaper was a great choice for Ego. Relapse side, they've got Sir James Parker switched off. He's going to be going onto the Roadhog. 100 is, so they're going to be having the triple tank on the side of Relapse. So even more viable, I think, now is Napalm. than he was probably previously. Sir James Parker getting a quick pick onto such a clutch. Napalm in some trouble and gets taken out by Sir James Parker as well. Yuki finishes off Mark. They not having the DPS now. The side of Eco does not have enough to push through. Relapse able to just really truck through that first, to truck through this point and take it over pretty quickly. 34% is on the clock for Ego's side of the house. They're going to have to come in very quickly to make things happen. Such Clutch ready to go with his ult. We're going to see 6 gods, OG Comedies, Legits, and Marked probably ready as well. Relapse side, we've already got 100s, Zergos, and Yuki, as well as Erica and United Kills, probably going to be ready in this next team fight. There goes the pulse bomb from Such a Clutch. Finishes off one, but he gets taken out. Yuki picking up a 2-piece as he takes him and Marked out. There goes the Graviton Surge for the side of Ego. They're trying to clear things out. We did see Erica try to break it down, but she got taken out before she could use it. Death Blossom comes from Napalm, finishes off the ulting Genji. United Kills to be able to secure that point. Ego holding on strong here. All right, so now they're going to have 3 ults leading in here for this team fight. We're going to see 6 God, Legit, and Mark, so they're going to be able to hold on pretty strong. Although the side of Relapse does have 4, things could even out in Ego's favor if they're able to use them correctly. We do see the Transcendence coming out from both sides. The Graviton Surge from Relapse, and it is just clean house for the side of Relapse. They pick up almost a full team kill. Such Clutch, the last one alive, but I don't know if he's going to be able to make it away. He gets taken out by Zergo. That's a team kill for the side of Relapse. Able to come back strong here to take the point. 67% is up on the board for Ego. Relapse chewing through some of that to get their own percentage up there, though. Relapse doing a terrific job here of answering back. Ego doing a good job using their ults and getting kills with their ult. As I say that, Such Clutch throws out the pulse bomb and absolutely misses everybody. But other than that, they've been doing a terrific job so far. Such Clutch kind of bringing it back, though. Does get one onto Zergo. Falls almost immediately to Sir James Parker, but OG Comedy helps him out. Takes Sir James Parker out. Napalm getting one onto Yuki. Erica falls to a 6 God, and this looks like Ego's point here. Last one on the point is United Kills, and he is the Lucio Legit to take him out. Ego able to take back over. It is now 70% on the clock for them, with Relapse holding the majority at 76%. Ego and Relapse going back and forth here on this point. OG Comedy and Marked ready to go with their ults. We're going to see probably Napalm, 6 Gods, and Legits pretty soon, as well as Such a Clutch. There's some trading here as 100 picks up 2. Zergo gets 1. Such a Clutch and 6 God, the only ones getting 1 for the side of Ego. Relapse really coming on strong here. They're really trying to get back to the point, and they do. They take it over. 92% up top for Ego, and Relapse probably going to try to hold on for the remainder of this. They're going to be able to do so, probably utilizing a good Genji ult, maybe use Zergo Transcendence. I don't know if Sir James Parker or Yuki or Erica is going to have theirs up in time for the side of Relapse. Ego's coming back very quickly, so we'll kind of see how things pan out. There's the Transcendence for the side of Ego leading into this team fight. There's the Dragon Blade from a Relapse, immediately noticing that they've got no Transcendence now. We did see the Death Blossom try to come out from Ego. He gets nobody with it, but 6 Gods picks up a 2-piece. Such a Clutch with 2 of his own. Marked a good Flame Strike finishes off Erica, and it is flopping back now to the side of Ego. 99% on the board for Relapse. They've got to win one team fight and get in there quick if they plan to do so. I don't even think they're going to be able to get back in time. They're not. Ego able to take a 2-1 lead on Nepal here.
They just seem super evenly matched, and they're running. They aren't even running similar, well, very similar comms. What do you think they're gonna have to do in order for Ego to put this win down?
You know, I mean, if you're Ego, you've been doing a terrific job. Yeah, they lost that first point, but since then, I mean, they've gotten progressively better. The second one, you know, it was kind of back and forth. This one, it was, you know, back and forth, but more decisively in Ego's favor, although they did lose half of the team fights, obviously. They were winning them just a little bit better than Relapse seemed to. So if you're Ego, you keep improving the way you have been, and you keep playing your game. You don't feed into Relapse's game. You do your own thing, and you just focus picks. That's all it boils down to, especially on this one. Yeah, the Mercy coming out, kind of a surprise for the side of Relapse. I'm not too sure on that one. 100 does drop almost immediately. Napalm taken him out. OG Comedy finishes off United Kills. I don't think it's going to be enough. Erica's switching over to that. I don't really see it working out. I think running the Zen Lucio was doing really well for Relapse. Switching off to the Mercy is probably not the correct gameplay to go with. But
I think if we see good reses, it could potentially be worth it. Because they will be at a heal advantage. They'll be getting more heals than Alicia.
Right. But I mean, it's you got to get the picks at that point with Napalm over there on that Reaper coming around. You know, that dude is just messing stuff up. There's the res, but it's all in the back line at this point. So you've got to make things happen. Erica gets taken out by Napalm almost immediately. Yuki finishes off Mark. They're so far off the point at this point, though, that even if they do win the team fight, they're still going to have to fight through the remainder of Ego and, you know, be able to contest the remainder of the trickle that Ego is going to be pushing forward. So, again, I don't think the res is really the way to go on this one.
They are pulling out a Pharah now, too, to go with the Mercy.
Okay, now that makes a little bit more sense. I understand that a little bit better. Just going with the plain Mercy, I don't know about, though.
Exactly. I think that's what they... Hopefully this will be the change they needed.
Right. Marked and OG Comedy getting a couple picks for the side of Ego. There's the Death Blossom coming out from Napalm. Doesn't get anybody, but he does finish off Erica. Mark is just going to town with that Reinhardt, putting in some heavy work. Finishes off Sir James Parker. And that's another team fight victory for the side of Ego. Like I was saying, if you're Ego, you just continue playing your game. You know, they've been doing this all game, all Nepal anyways, on Nepal. And they've just got to continue doing this, carrying over into the third map if they can potentially win this one. So, I don't know, they're going to have the ults to probably take this next team fight. We got Mark ready to go, legit. Six God, Such Clutch does die with his pulse bomb. OG Comedy almost ready. Here comes the breakdown coming out for the side of Ego. Napalm finishes off Zergo. A good charge from Mark. Takes out Yuki. Six God finishes off Erica, who is now switched back to the Lucio. Zergo is back to the Zenyatta. I don't know. The mid-fight switches for Relapse. I think they should have started out with this, and they probably would have done... Yeah, I think they would have done a little bit better of a job. Relapse would have. Because, I mean, this was their fight to lose at this point. You know, you're down 2-1. Why try to change it up if you've already been putting out good product? But they did, and they lose map number 2 here in the semifinals. Such Clutch is going to get the play of the match as Tracer here, dancing around as the Dragon. No doubt coming on strong, probably going to get a good pulse bomb here in the back. This is going to be that saucy 3-piece that she threw down, finishes off a 4th and hunts down the 5th. She takes out Sir James Parker. Good job for the side of Ego. Such Clutch coming in very strong here. All right, so last map in the pool is going to be Hanamura. And I think we're going to let... Who is it? Relapse is going to have to choose if they want attack or defense. What do you think of that Koth right there? What do you think, Bello? What do you think they did wrong if you're Relapse?
I think Relapse might have gone in it a little bit too confident. Ego has proved time and time again they are really dominating on Koth maps. I think Koth is definitely their strong suit because they have such a strong double backline with Napalm on Tracer and Such a Clutch on Genji a lot of times. And but I'm interested to see how this 2-point will go. We had Relapse win the Payload and Ego win the Koth, so I think potentially this could be anybody's game.
Right, kind of up in the air. It's very much up in the air, I think. Both teams did a terrific job on the Koth, so I just hope we don't see any indecisiveness out of the side of Relapse. It looked like they were kind of questioning themselves, even though they were putting out, you know, such good work. They just didn't stick with what they had. Second guessing, you know, can lead to failure at times, and that's exactly what we saw in the previous map, Nepal. So I guess we'll just kind of see where this one goes. I think that Napalm sitting on that Reaper is the good call for the side of Ego. He has been just overpowering to Relapse. Relapse not having any answer for him just yet. We haven't seen them try to counter him. He's kind of just having free reign, and we kind of saw it when he was on the Pharah as well. Relapse just not doing much to contest him. So Napalm just kind of having his way with whatever he wants to do in this game.
I'm kind of hoping we'll see some Mei. This is such a strong Mei map. What are you hoping to see in this matchup?
You know, I'd like to see some Mei. Honestly, I'd like to see the the Torb Symmetra strategy tried.
Ooh.
I haven't seen much, if any, of it. I've seen it a couple times in comp, and it seems to work out very well. I haven't seen it much at the Overguard. I know a couple teams were practicing with it, and that's just something that I'd like to see. It's a very interesting strategy. You got to play very strong if you're going to go with that. You got to be very on top of things and good with callouts. So let's kind of see what
saying in
happens.
chat, who will have the stronger cheese? Who will have the stronger cheese strat? Yeah. Because potentially you could have the Symmetra, the Torb, the May, just ridiculous.
Right.
Ridiculous.
I've ran that comp before and we've won.
Oh yeah.
When I was 6-stacking with my team, and it's quite fun to play too. It gets a little hectic at times, and it's just a blast. I like it.
The danger with that is if you do get dove, because you are focusing on such a strong defense.
Right, exactly. And like my team, that's kind of what we love to do. We love the dive comp. We've got, some very good players that are very good at dive. So we love going in first on defense and using, that kind of cheese strategy. And then we like seeing the other team try it, and because we're a dive team. So immediately when they try it, it's absolute fail for them because we just dive through their back line and just absolutely chew through. So Laggy, when are we teaming? I don't know, man. I don't know.
We're seeing a more traditional comp here. We're seeing, we are actually seeing triple tank here without an Ana. But I think the Mercy could do it.
Right, I'm kind of surprised Ego going with the Winston here. I like the pick. We're going to have to see how well they use it, though. If you're relapse side of the house, I think you might have the advantage here going against the Winston kind of dive-ish comp. They don't have the May to fend off anything that Ego's kind of going to throw out here. First pick is going to go to Sir James Parker for the side of relapse as he takes out 6God. It's going to be all chaos with this kind of comp. Ego going to be just bouncing all over the map, trying to get some picks. We do see him way off to the side, almost to the next point here. Such clutch taken out too. He says if Napalm can play Reaper, I can play Reaper too. He gets a 2-piece right there, taking out 100. They're pretty decisively going to win this first point here. Yuki gets taken out by Such clutch, and on the hunt we do see the remainder of the team. Napalm trying to put some pressure onto Erica, using that Winston mark to finishing her off though. Zergo still over there on that Lucio, gets taken out by Such clutch, who already had his Death Blossom and use it. United kills, gets taken out by OG Comedy. And that's going to be Ego coming in very strong on this first point. Yeah, so next up is going to be Final 6 versus Thick Boys, guys. Whoever wins this is going to be moving on into the final. So winner of this map is the finalist, so to say. Legit ready to go with his ult for the side of Ego. So here comes that breakdowner right now, leading in. Mark gets a quick pick onto 100. As they start chasing down to the point. Such a clutch putting pressure down onto Yuki. There's the whole hog coming out from Sir James Parker. He ends up getting taken out before he can get any sort of action out of that. Napalm going bananas on the point. Finishes off Erica before she can get any sort of res going on. You gotta focus that Mercy, right? You gotta get her out.
Absolutely. They did a fantastic job. They really
did. They dove in very quickly. They waited to use that Lucio. Of course, Ego getting that first pick, Mark taking out the opposing Reinhardt 100. I think that was exactly what Ego needed. Now, had Relapse choked back a little bit, noticing that they're going to be dove, maybe they wouldn't have had the same outcome, played a little bit more defensively. Relapse choked up way too far, in my opinion, for somebody playing against the Winston. They know that, if you're playing a Winston, you know he's going to dive that back line. You already know. So don't choke up into the other team. Defend your back line.
I think it was unfortunate that I believe Erica got caught in a ground pound or some sort of CC, and it was just that res was one of the only things that could have saved them. Right.
And I mean, it falls like that sometimes. That's why, Mercy's very viable character, but at the same time, she's not. Because if you've got any sort of, G2 to you on the enemy team, to focus her down. You know when she's going to have her res, especially a player like Erica who gets her res so quickly. I'm sure you can attest to that. You get yours probably pretty quickly as well. You got to be able to focus down that Mercy. And if you're going against a team like Ego, You know, they've got such good, like you were mentioning, such good ability to get around to that back line and put the pressure down onto supports. And if you got any sort of chance of getting that Mercy, they're going to take it. Ego's going to be able to finish them off.
I think that Reaper is just what won Ego those pushes, because Relapse was running triple tank and Reaper just chewed through those tanks so quickly.
He really did. He really did. All right, so I guess we're going to be calling Earth Shatter, Ground Pounder, Volcano Crush from now on. So that's going to be the terminology that we're going to use. Ego now going to have their turn at a defense. They had an absolutely stellar offense, posting a time of 6 minutes and 13 seconds still on the clock. Relapse really going to have their work cut out for them. We do see the Mei coming out for this side of Ego being played by such a clutch. So look to see that wall possibly pretty soon. They need to try to bait it out if you're Relapse. Got to notice that she's there. Oh, get taken out, Mei. United kills, finishing her off. Big charge does come from Mark as he takes out Sir James Parker. OG Comedy takes out 100. It is a two down if you're the side of Relapse. So they're trying to even things out as Six God falls to Zergo. Napalm, though, takes out Zergo. Mark finishing off Erica. And Ego able to sustain here. In the back line, we do see United Kills still back there trying to put some pressure down. He's trying to go up top to contest against Napalm a little bit here, but Napalm immediately spotting that threat and getting out of harm's way. Sir James Parker backing up as he takes a ton of damage as well. Ego able to get back now. They still got one in the back, and that's the Mercy Six God. So she's going to be back pretty soon and be able to heal the remainder of her team up. Mark in a little bit of trouble here. He's taking a ton of damage. He gets taken out by Sir James Parker. He did have his ult almost ready to go. We're going to see Napalm and Legit's ult very soon. There goes the breakdown from Legit on the Ego side of the house. Napalm takes out Yuki. There's the Rocket Barrage coming out. He does get one, but gets taken out by Erica. The Mei's still back there for the side of Ego, trying to put some pressure down. Finishes off United Kills, and they once again defend here on the point. 2 minutes and 20 seconds still remaining for the side of Relapse. If you're Relapse, what do you got to do now? Because you've got to get in there. Do you switch it up and try to go with some sort of dive, or do you stick to your guns?
I think they're going to have to jump over. They've got this Mei. They've got to think about the Mei and make their switches accordingly.
Right, well, there's the bait, but unfortunately, 100 falls to that side. He does get the pick, though. There's the Dragon Blade coming out from United Kills. Immediately, the Transcendence coming out to save Relapse here a little bit. United Kills picks up another one. There's the rest from Six God, bringing him back to Mei. Old Blizzard going down on the point for Ego. They're trying to clean things up. Sir James Parker still frozen. He ends up surviving through that. Napalm missing him, not able to take him out. United Kills gets a quick dash, and then one other kill as well. Relapse probably going to be able to take this point. We're not going to see much else from Ego. Ego having to back up to the next point. Napalm does get a pick onto Yuki. Six God falls off the edge to try to join her team. Ego, that was theirs to lose on that one. They didn't capitalize on the Mei ult as well as they should have.
I agreed. I think if Relapse plays their cards right, they can cap this point, but this point is a struggle to cap. Just a struggle.
Yeah, it really can be. But they're not going to have to fight against that Mei ult, so that's in their favor. We do see Erica breaking it down. They've got to get their guys on the point, though. Relapse throwing out a good Graviton Surge, but Napalm immediately with a Rocket Barrage takes out 100. Such clutch and OG Comedy combining for one more apiece. Over on the side, we do see Sir James Parker. He did take out one, but he gets taken out. Ego able to hold on here. If you're Relapse, that was an absolutely wasted attempt right there.
Yeah, and they don't have many ults going into this next. They have United Kills coming up, and that's going to be about it.
Yep. The rated in the chat. Did he call Yuki she? Of course I did. First of all, Yuki is a Japanese female's name. Second of all,
Yuki is a
Zarya. Yeah, whatever. Second of all, Zarya, who Yuki's been on, is a female character. So, pardon my confusion.
It's
Yuki
hard,
is
it's
a she now. We'll just play that as a Caitlyn Jenner kind of thing. We do see the breakdown coming out from Ego leading into this next team fight. OG Comedy gets the first pick onto Yuki. He ends up falling pretty quickly. Sir James Parker gets a quick pick onto OG Comedy, and it's 1-for-1. Mark trying to even things out, takes out 100. Legit finishes off Erica, and once again, Ego probably going to be able to hold on here. Sir James Parker and Zergo do get one apiece. Sir James Parker picks up another one. There's the res coming out from Ego, which was Six God. I think he ended up picking up 3 on that one, so good job out of Ego, able to bring that back. 100 still over there trying to contest a little bit, but he's going to have to back up and wait for his team. Relapse going to have to do a lot better job here. Relapse just hasn't, I don't know. It seems like they accidentally stumble into team fight wins. That's about the best way I can kind of describe it. We do see the attack visor coming out. Yeah, I mean, there's no other explanation. They're not winning it just based on skill. They'll get lucky and get a pick here or there, and then be able to follow through with another one. But after that, it's anyone's guess of what they're going to do. We do see the Graviton Surge coming out from Ego. Got a couple of them picked up into that. Napalm finishes off 2. Finishes off a 3rd as well. Yuki still on the point, trying to contest a little bit. Such a clutch finishing him off. And Ego once again able to hold on strong.
Wow.
No ticks in favor of Relapse just yet. Yeah, I mean, like I said, they're stumbling into these team fight wins. It seems like pure accident when they do win a team fight here on Hanamura. The first point, it seemed the same way. Ego not capitalizing on the Mayall. Okay, well, Relapse ended up taking that victory pretty much just due to that. Had Sir James Parker and the other one that was frozen ended up getting picked off, I think it would have fallen in favor of Ego, but Relapse really needing to pick it up here. We do see Relapse coming in through the bottom here, a little bit up top action to try to contest. There's the breakdown coming out from Ego. Immediately, the Transcendence off to the side for Zergo. He did not get anybody captured into that until the final remaining seconds. Napalm got a little bit lucky there, threw the pulse bomb onto the ground, and then Yuki jumped into it. Zergo finishes off Napalm. There's the res coming out for the side of Ego, bringing the team back. United Kills picks up 1, taking out Six Gods, not letting her get any more heals off. Zergo falls to Napalm. Mark picks up 1, taking out Erica. Mark getting another one. Gotta love watching this guy on the Reinhardt. Dude puts in some work.
So what I'm noticing is Relapse is just, they need to get their alt combos stronger because just Ego's doing such a fantastic job of comboing. They are just really doing a fantastic job on this defense. And I would argue that it's it comes down to team chemistry. Ego has played together for a long time.
Yeah, that definitely is something to consider here. We do see the first picks fall into Ego once again. The May Blizzard coming out for Ego. I don't think it was necessary, nor do I think it was needed. A little bit of overkill. Last one's on the point is United Kills and 100, both of which have fallen. Marked and Napalm taking care of them. Once again, Relapse, like you were saying, they just don't seem to have that same chemistry. They don't seem to be playing as well together. They're not coordinating their ults as well. Nor are they, focusing down low targets together. So I think Relapse...
I'm also not a fan of their comp either on Relapse, Goji. Like, they could really use the Zarya right now, Like, that would help them out so much. Combo with United Kills with Sir James Parker.
Right, it definitely could. I mean, United Kills is very dominant on that Genji. If he had, a Graviton Surge to work with, I think it could be a whole different game for the side of Relapse. Maybe now is when you'd want to have the Mercy. I'm kind of a fan of second point Mercy here for Hanamura. It can come in very clutch, especially with Ego having such a close spawn point. I think Relapse might have missed their mark on that one, not able to have that Mercy in there.
Absolutely.
And apparently, Relapse is playing with some subs, so that makes a little bit of a difference as well. Not to take anything away from Ego. Ego playing absolutely stellar Overwatch here. Organizing their ults very well. They just took a 2-1 victory over Relapse, winning Nepal and winning Hanamura. They did lose the first map on King's Row, but I can't take anything away from Ego. They did play fantastic Overwatch. All right, so next semifinals, guys, we're going to be moving straight into it. It's going to be Final 6 versus Thick Boys. See if I can see a little bit of some roster here. I don't know how it translates, though. think we need to have people sign up with their like in-game names on Battlefy. It'd make things so much easier to read off. Like, oh, this guy's on this guy's on this. So we're gonna get these teams in here, guys. So bear with us for just a moment while we get this all organized. I'm gonna go grab a drink really quick. All right. So just for a little bit of information, guys, I called it wrong. Apparently, my wife is watching the stream, and she called me out. Yuki is a unisex name in Japan. So my bad.
She went
My bad.
Google just to see that. That's crazy.
Do I?
She searched the name Yuki on
No,
Google
my wife
just
is
to see.
Japanese. My wife is Japanese.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my. Like full Japanese? No half?
Yeah, like full
quarter?
on
Like
Japanese.
from Japan.
Yeah, I brought her over
Wow.
from Japan. Yeah.
That's nice.
I had her imported. I don't have no domestic
Oh,
models.
don't lie. Don't lie. She
It's all
got
imported.
you, man. She's like, I'm
I know,
taking this
right?
guy,
I
coming
know,
to
right?
America.
Japan, it was wonderful, man. I miss it. I can't wait to go back. I loved it. Every minute I was there. Absolutely.
Must be nice.
I hate the fact that I live in America now. The culture is just so much better in Japan. They just take such pride in their work, you know. Like here you go to McDonald's and like you see like the greasy guy behind the counter that's just like, "What's up, bro? Let me take your order, bro." Over there they like all the employees wear like nice like outfits like they're
Like
at a
suits
Fortune
and ties.
500 company, you know? Yeah, like the manager is in legit like a suit, and then like the female employees, they'll be wearing a blouse and they'll be wearing a nice skirt, and yeah, it's very nice. The rated, can you speak Japanese? I understand more than I speak, man. I really do, and I'm not talking smack on America, Cool Karen. I'm really not. I was in the military, man. I love my country, I really do, but. You know, there's some things that we don't do as well as other countries, and that's, you know, have a good culture and respect for each other. So we don't. You can call me out on that one as much as you want, but it is true. It is true. Chazzy says unsubbed. You know what, Chazzy? That's fine. We didn't want your sub anyways. Oh man, Boober Scoober. Nobody wants a guy like you following, anyways. Just kidding, guys. We love all of you. We love all of you. Wait, what?
So we've got Final 6 on Team 2. Who will be Team 1?
Team 1 is...
I don't know.
Isn't
Orange
just
team?
the team that we just played? Oh, actually, are we still
Or
on
a Guardian.
semifinals? The EU team, yeah.
Hashtag support Gozy. Thanks, Brett.
I'm gonna have to find this Aura Guardian. He
Yeah.
says he added me, but I never got a friend request. So.
I can
That's
get him in
fine. The
here.
rated.
I believe.
Gozy about to get dropped for not wanting subs. That's fine. We got Bella as a caster now. Bella can pick it up. Bella's the new caster with Jobot coming in.
Or a Guardian? Hey. Or Guardian.
For those of you that
Guardian?
do not know,
Yeah.
Bella, it was an absolute sport for us today, hosting on her personal time and her personal channel majority of the Overguard matches for the Community Cup. So everybody, please be sure to go over to her channel. If you want to give yourself a shout out real quick, Bella, let them know where to go to give you a quick follow. Go ahead and let them know.
yeah, if you're trying to give me a quick follow, I appreciate that. My Twitch channel is Bella with 3Ls 391. I'll say hey in chat too. And yeah, I am creating a weekly schedule actually tomorrow. I'm going to sit down and it's going to be a very consistent weekly schedule. Console Overwatch will be on that weekly schedule. There will be at least one night dedicated to Console Overwatch. So I'm trying to help support you guys. There's going to be a community if you guys make it.
Well, there you go. You heard it from the woman herself. So make sure to go throw some follows onto her channel. We've also got JoeBot sitting in here. This guy, man, I can't say enough. Organizing the Xbox free agent events. This dude just does a stellar job for the Overguard, making sure you guys have stuff to play, some events to play in. So make sure to go to JoeBot and follow his channel as well. Mr. JoeBot, what is your Twitter and your information?
My Twitter is at JoesBot S in between because for some reason someone has a name JoeBot for some reason, and my Twitch, you asked right? My Twitch,
Yeah.
Twitch is JoeBot with a V at the end of it, and that's
Well, there you
about
go, guys.
I was actually asked to do look at the previous broadcasters and pick up all the PogChamps, so yeah, that's what I'm doing right now for Overguard. Just picking up the most recent PogChamps. So if you guys have any I don't know, clips for PogChamps, just send them right to my DMs on Twitter or whatever platform you think is the best. We'll try to get them into the YouTube content that we're building up currently.
There you go, guys. So Mr. JoeBot handling the PogChamp videos for the Overguard. So if you got any stellar clips, maybe the saucy one kill through the wall Hanzo ult that you want to submit to JoeBot, go ahead and submit those, and we'll get you into a PogChamp video.
Kieran asks, "What is PogChamps?" PogChamps is play of the game champs, the pretty much the best plays of the game. I mean, come on now, come on, Kieran, you know this.
I see a request for 4 heals, 2 tanks for the final matchup, and I am all for that. Hashtag 4 heals, 2 tanks.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
definitely.
I think I should just turn off all heroes except Hanzo and see what happens.
I think that would be a fantastic match.
Is there a way to
We'd
set
really
it to
get to
toe
see
shots only?
Who the secret Hanzo mains are.
Right. Sniff them all out and then delete them off my friend list. Yeah.
That's profiling, sir.
Right.
EU or NA, who wins? Ask Magical Fountains. I think EU can take this, to be honest. EU, this EU team I'm seeing right now actually has some really good players. I've seen Hazza. Hazza's actually participated in my previous Frisian tournaments, and he's done really well. So I definitely want to see something from him coming up. I believe he's playing DPS for his team, right? Am I not?
Yeah, I recognize some EU names, and they've played and done very well in tourneys before. So I think this is we're gonna see a very good match here. And this is a best of 5?
Yes, I believe so. Let me check. I think it's a best of 3 all up until finals. Let me see.
Which this is.
It is a best of 3, yeah. Best of 5 is only
it is.
finals.
I was
Yeah,
mistaken.
this
I
is
thought
best
this was
of
finals.
No. Finals
No,
is best of 3
it's
as
just
well.
that
No.
the first match went for as long as 2 matches.
Yeah. All of the
Jeez.
matches I've been in today have just gone on super like all 3
super
maps
long.
we've done. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was back and forth a little bit on the King of the Hill too, and that eats up so much time. That's why it's so hard for us to get match times, because you never know what's gonna happen.
Absolutely.
Deluxe Haas in the chat.
Ooh,
What's up,
Deluxe,
sir?
my man. Where is he at?
We need to get him practiced up on casting some Overwatch.
Right.
Maybe let him
Ooh.
go with Bella.
Speaking of
Good job.
casters,
Oh no.
there's actually this one caster that wants to cast for us. His name is Phenom. I believe you talked to him, right? Have you not?
Yeah,
I
Gozy?
did, yeah.
yeah, I did.
So we might be seeing some new casters
if you're
here.
interested, if y'all are interested in casting, I've created a channel in the Discord. Make sure to go check it out. It's the # or whatever you want to call it, and that is Commentators or whatever I think is the channel. And if you're interested, we are looking for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox I will kind of be bouncing between them all. I am actually looking for a consistent co-caster for myself. I'm going to try to pick up Bella here, but I don't know. She's proving rather difficult.
Oh no.
Hey, maybe you
don't
gotta just
cast,
take her out for
guys.
coffee first, Cozy.
I don't like
That's
coffee
normally
though.
how it works. No, you just want to go
What?
straight for the show, straight for the big show.
Why not,
Cozy,
man?
pace
Come
yourself.
on. Straight to the point. Straight to the point. Cast gears, don't really know about Overwatch. That's all right, Deluxe. It doesn't take much to know. If I can do it, anybody can do it, because I am quite the simple-minded person. So
Speak up. I'm blind. In the chat wants to know when our Wii U tourneys are gonna come out.
EU tourneys?
Yeah, the Wii U.
Wii U.
Oh,
You know.
it's,
The
it'll be
Wii
the
U
week
tourneys,
it'll
I'm
be
sorry.
it'll be the week after the Sega Saturn tournament, so just keep your eye out for that.
Well, Deluxe, stick around, man. You might learn a thing or two. Bella's been schooling me on how to commentate, so
No.
stick around.
No.
We're gonna have some spectacular commentary coming at you here
Oh.
for this next match between Final Six and the Thick Boys. And why is it paused again? You guys and your pause, I
because
swear.
someone's
No, I know.
we
I'm
did have
just
some
messing with
music.
you.
It shouldn't have been. God, he
So-
keeps joining. Stop it.
So the Thick Boys and Final Six, this is going to be the semifinals here for the Overguard Community Cup. And winner of this is going to go on to face Ego in the finals. We are going to be kicking this thing back to the lobby to see if we can get this guy to join and move in. Rippers, why is Rippers in? Rippers just keeps joining, so I don't know.
Is he not part of the team?
I don't
No,
I don't know.
He's not.
Who's actually part
I
of
have
the
no
team,
idea.
then?
Beyond
Dano?
question, great tourney. You know it's a great tourney. This
There you
is just a community event. It's not anything really over the top. It's just something for everybody to kind of play in and kind of have some fun with. So if you're interested, we've also got a PS4 one going on tomorrow, and that one always is going to be fun. I will be there commentating. I'm going to be looking for somebody to co-commentate with me. So anybody that's interested, let me know. Bella, I don't think you have a PlayStation, do you?
I do not.
Okay, so Bella can't be there with me, so I'm kind of up the creek on that one. So if you're interested, guys, let me know, and we'll get you in, and we'll get you commentating with me. I don't mind. I will school you up and let you know how it's done.
All right,
Anybody
so we're just
wanting to
waiting on-
learn how to do it, too, let me know. I don't mind
we're waiting on
reviewing
Cares
video
to join
and stuff.
back in.
Waiting on who?
I don't know. He's got like 2.5 minutes to join.
Oh,
Are you
okay.
serious?
Oh.
Gotcha.
Game's supposed to start.
All right, so
Deluxe asks
what
in
he
the
is referring
chat-
to, guys, we got we give teams a certain amount of time to be able to get back into matches and things like that. It's in our rule book. All of that can be found in our Discord as well. I think we've got it on our forum somewhere. But the main place to go to check out anything like that is going to be on our Discord. We've also introduced a PC league for those of you that play Overwatch on PC. We've got a PC league going on, and we're going to have tournaments and whatnot going on for that as well. We got some big name teams already signed up. I know we got Tempo Storm in there. We've also got Doot Doot. If anybody's familiar with the PC scene, both of those two big name teams, and plenty of other big names wanting to join as well. So very exciting stuff coming from the Overguard. We always have the console stuff, and we're always going to continue having the console stuff. So don't think that we're going to be merging over to PC anytime soon. It's just we want to grow this community, and that's part of it is going into PC. Allow everybody to get their turn to play with the Overguard. So if you are interested, please join our Discord. We're going to pop that link into our Twitch chat. Make sure to join that, and you can talk to me. You can talk to Brett. You can talk to Vegas or Vex. We are the admins of the Overguard, and we'll direct you where you need to go. You can also talk to Killicon, Joebot, and I think Scorchy as well, some of the other mods for the Overguard. We can direct you to the right place to be able to sign up your team for the Overguard's Xbox, PS4, and PC leagues and tournaments.
So, quick announcement. That team's gonna forfeit. I guess they couldn't get
Alright.
their other player. back
Yay,
online.
finals!
There we go.
Are you already? Okay. That's
Yeah,
kinda...
so we're gonna invite
anticlimactic.
Napalm's team back in. That's 2 weeks ago, I believe. And yeah, we're gonna just go straight to the finals. So we're gonna have final 6 versus.
Gotta love it. It happens. Once again, this is a community cup, guys. So Things like that are going to happen. Can't really be helped. Duneasy says, what's happening? We're going to be moving into the finals between Ego and Final 6 here. And we're going to see who takes the Community Cup here. That's what's happening.
So it looks like on the Battlefy it says best of 3, but it's going to be a best of 5. We're going to be going to Dorado.
Yeah, we should change
first.
that.
No point in changing it. We're just going to roll with it, roll through it. Here we go.
Jobot, when is the next free agent, Xbox free agent Overwatch event?
I don't know, Gozy. It depends if we're busy next week. Cause I'm trying to book one on Saturday, man. Friday and Sunday is way too stressful because I got work, I have the volleyball team. You know, I got stuff to do in life. I'm trying to just get on Saturday.
What is the free agent event? What is it?
The free agent event is what you do is you sign up on a Google form. I get all your information down, whatnot. You know, your SR count, your role, all your characters and what you play. So I like calculate all of that in my mind. Like I spend like probably half the day doing this, just calculating every single person's like skills and whatnot.
Okay, you do.
And
we got
I
that.
bind you all
do
into
some
random
beautiful
teams.
mind stuff. We got that.
yeah. I bind everyone into like random drafted teams, right? And I put them up against each other in like scrimmages sort of, and they play against each other. You know, me and Vegas here has been like duoing it, like kind of showcasing all the players. Like, if you guys don't know, there's this team named Unsung Heroes, which actually won the last community cup tournament last week on Sunday, I believe, right? You guys know that, right? Against Final 6, which the teams that are in here right now. They actually won the last one, and they were a free agent, like pickup team. Like they literally were one of the teams I made, I believe, or they were mixed up in between them.
Right.
So
they stuck together and practiced together.
Yeah.
And...
So yeah, they won the tournament. So like they took the initiative. Like yo, let's play in this Community Cup tournament. They played in it. They won in it. Like they're a bunch of free agents. This is like all made from my event. Like. This could actually happen for anyone else if you really took the initiative to create your own team, and that's what the whole point of the free agent event is. So it's like a meetup pretty much. So you can play with each other, maybe make a team with each other, and that's what they did.
Yeah. So
that's pretty much what
players that don't have a team.
Keep in mind that other players have been picked up from the free agent event onto current teams as starters and subs. So. Even if you go in it and you don't like your team, another team may see how you play and say, hey, man, that might be a good fit. Let's try him out. So, the Jobot free agent spectaculars that we do are really for, the newcomers coming in or even veterans that, have left their team or had to leave the game and now are coming back. And it's just a really good opportunity to get involved and, get back into playing in the league. So if you guys are free agents and interested in playing in the Overguard, just look out for anytime Jobot does these events. He's organizing them right now for Xbox. And hey, if you guys are on PC or PS4 and you guys want to do your own free agent event for those platforms, just reach out to me or Jobot, and we'll get it done.
I'll enjoy the quiet
right.
while it lasts.
For sure.
So there you go, guys. There's some information for you about free agent events. Make sure to go, follow the Overguard, of course, at Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, every sort of social media you can possibly think of. And we'll put all those links in the Twitch chat for you so that you guys can follow us and get all the latest information on the Overguard. We're going to be starting this thing up, though. This is the finals here at the Overguard Community Cup versus, it's going to be it's going to be Ego versus Final 6. So very good gameplay out of both of these teams. I'm very excited to see what happens. Ego gonna be first on the defense. Looks like they're gonna have such a clutch coming out on that May to start things off. They've also got the Pharah Mercy combo coming out on defense. We've got Marked and OG Comedy both as the tanks for the side of Ego, with Legit being the other support. For your attacking team, Final 6, they're gonna be coming out with a little bit of dive situation happening. Wonderful sitting on that Winston. He dives in almost immediately, gets taken out, but he ends up surviving to live another day here. Tensa coming out on that Lucio. We got Dreams there sitting on the Mercy. Fernie sitting on the Tracer. Poppy Conrad coming out on the Pharah. And Relux sitting on the Genji. That is your attacking team, Final 6. They're starting to make their way through this first checkpoint here in the first archway. A little bit of trouble, though, is coming their way as Ego gets the first picks. Napalm takes out 2. OG Comedy in such a clutch finish off 1 apiece as well. And that's going to end the first push here for Final 6. I think a very good hold for Ego on that one. Using that May wall, such clutch. Doing a terrific job with the placement of that. Get off pharmacy cam is what the Twitch chat is calling for. So no more pharmacy. They don't want to see it. They're tired of it.
I know. We're all tired of it, except for me.
There you go. It's just something that's so prevalent in all the console scene is using that pharmacy setup. Winston does get taken out by Mark, who threw a good flame strike at him. Fernie takes out 1 using the pulse bomb. Poppy Conrad takes out OG Comedy. Such a clutch. Finishes off for Relux. Payload is still being contested in the back here. They are starting to try to move it forward here. We got Tensa over there on the Lucio trying to wall ride his way out of harm's way. Poppy Conrad takes out Six God. On the point, we see Such a clutch trying to stall it out. There's the breakdown coming from Ego to help his team out here. Napalm and Six God ready to go. There's the rocket barrage from Napalm. Picks up 1 immediately. The deflect from Relux's gets him gone. Fernie finishes off Mark. There's Poppy Conrad getting a rocket barrage of his own as he takes out Such a clutch. Such a clutch does get 1 as he takes out Relux. There's the res coming out for the side of Ego, bringing the team back to be able to contest this thing for even longer here. OG Comedy does fall to Poppy Conrad, but Poppy Conrad falls to Such a clutch, who picks up another one, taking out Fernie. Napalm gets Dreams there. Here comes the Dragon Blade coming out from Relux. He gets 1, takes out Mark. Wonderful, finishes off Such a clutch. I think a good change for this side of Final 6, getting off of the Winston and going with the Roadhog. I think that was a very viable pick for them. Napalm takes out Relux. Payload is still moving forward here. Last one to contest is Napalm. He's going to have to back off, and they're going to be able to cap it. Final 6, securing the first point here. They're going to be pushing through street phase here in just a few seconds. What do you think about the lineups for these two teams, Bella?
I think, well, we are seeing Fair Mercy. It is good to note we're seeing Fair Mercy even in the finals, so this is definitely console meta. I think if there were any question before, which we're just reassuring that. We are seeing, but yeah, Final 6 is very strong on this double backliner. They have 2 Relux's mains Genji, Fernie mains Tracer. This is where they feel comfortable, for sure.
Right. Final 6 coming in with a good res. Automatically, Ego noticing they're not going to have that thing back up, and they pull out all the stops. Rocket Barrage fed into by that Graviton Surge. Napalm picking up a 3-piece with OG Comedy getting 2. That's a team wipe. Hashtag Gong in the chat for the side of Ego, able to hold on there and secure the payload defensively. Final 6 just did not have enough on that one. I think Ego did a terrific job utilizing their ult on that one, noticing that the res was already used for Final 6, noticing that they could pull in just about the entirety of the team. I think Ego did a terrific job. Here comes the breakdown out of the side of Ego, but they did lose 1 automatically from that team fight. We got a whole hog also going on for the side of Final 6. He ends up getting 1, taking out March. Relux charging through, taking out OG Comedy. Relux picking up another one. There goes the Mercy res out of Ego. It's going to be a who can get the better res kind of match here between these two teams. Poppy Conrad finishes off 1. Relux picks up another 2-piece as he gets legit and Napalm. Fernie doing his job, putting some pressure on Such a clutch, who was in the back. I think he was up top when he got taken out. I think that Final 6 is going to be able to cap this thing out. I don't know how they're going to do in the final phase, though, of this map. Fernie getting a quick pick onto Marks. We did see the Rocket Barrage come out from Poppy Conrad. He doesn't pick up any from that, though. Point is being contested by Ego, although they are dropping. Final 6 able to cap that. Now we're going to move into the final section here of this map. Napalm getting a quick pick onto Poppy Conrad, and that's going to allow Ego to push through here, but Wonderful evens it out. Taking out Six God. Payload is still moving forward for Final 6. Up in the air is Napalm trying to rain some pressure down onto the end of Final 6. Just not much, really. I mean, it's not very... They're winning the team fights, but I don't know how to explain it. It's not exciting gameplay out of these two. It seems very systematic. They're just charging through it. Final 6 is.
Yeah, I think they're playing very much in their comfort zone. I think they potentially Ego has a foothold here if they recognize that that Final Six really is kind of on autopilot right now. They're doing their comfy comp. So if they switch things
right
and try to counter, they could really really throw them off.
Right, and I mean, Ego's going to have to do something to be able to stop this thing. They did stop the bleeding a little bit here. They've stopped the payload a couple times, but immediately we've seen Final Six come back to be able to take it back over. Ego is holding the top ground here, away from Final Six, maybe to combat a little bit of that pharmacy they got going on. Here comes the whole hog from Wonderful in the back. Payload is continuing to move forward. 2 picks fall in favor of Final Six as Relux gets his Dragon Blade out, takes out 6 God. Mark does finish off 1 as he gets Mr. Wonderful himself. Final Six could be in a little bit of trouble here, but there goes the res, bringing the team back, and they did get the breakdown as well. Wonderful finishes off OG Comedy. Fernie gets Mark's last one on the point is such a clutch, as well as 6 God and Napalm. They do get the breakdown for the side of Ego, leading in here. Such a clutch takes out the Mercy, so no res going to be coming out for Final Six, although they didn't have it anyway, so kind of irrelevant. Relux takes out 1, so still in favor of Final Six is this team fight, although they do not have the superiority when it comes down to the spawn point. Such a clutch able to take out Relux, and Ego stabilizes once again here with just mere meters away from being capped. Ego gonna have to really clutch things up. They've got one more push. Final Six does. They've got one more push to be able to make this thing happen. Otherwise, it's going to be all trickle from that point. So if you are Final Six, you got to back up. You've got to regroup. Don't lose anybody right off the bat. We do see Dreams there is in a little bit of trouble. So is Tensa with such clutch in the back, trying to put some pressure down. Fernie taking the advantage here for his team. Final Six. 6 God and Marked both falling to a pulse bomb. Fernie finishes off 1 more. Tensa does go down, but there's Poppy Conrad up top with the rocket barrage to pick off 2. He got 3 in that team fight. We do see the Transcendence try to come out for the stall for the side of Ego, but he does not get there in time. A good place hooked from Wonderful does stall that out for him. So good job from Final Six, able to clutch it up in the end to be able to take all 3 points, but they really had to work for it at the end. You notice they were on autopilot kind of the same way I did. It did seem like Ego noticed it as well and maybe did something about it. I don't think they didn't change up their comp, but maybe just their play style. I don't really know exactly what they did behind the scenes, obviously, but whatever they did, it seemed to work.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that Ego will pick something that'll just really throw off Final Six, because I think that's what you have to do with Final Six. You have to throw them off your game because they are just so good when they're in their comfort zone.
Yeah, they really are. All right, so both teams going to start making their way out now. We're going to see Final Six on the defense here. Very interested to see what they come out with on defense. They're kind of a classic team. You know, they don't run anything off the wall when it comes down to it. They're pretty standard in their comp picks. So look to see something pretty standard coming out of their lineup. We do see Wonderful and Relux coming out on 2 tanks. We're not seeing a Reinhardt pick, so a little bit unconventional for the side of Final Six. I don't remember seeing them not go with a Reinhardt before. Have you ever seen them go with anything somewhat similar to this?
I find it very interesting that they aren't running a Reinhardt, but Final Six doesn't do anything that's not. They don't do anything by accident. They are very intentional in their picks. So I think the Roadhog is going to give them a great counter to that Reinhardt shield, and if the other Reinhardt doesn't have a shield, it's not a problem.
Right. We do see a Bastion coming out from Ego, so they're going to play a little bit of Protect the Prez. Napalm does get picked off right away from Poppy Conrad, so already 1 man down is Ego in this team fight. They're not gonna be able to win the shield battle though. Final Six has so much damage. They're not running that Reinhardt, so I think going with the Bastion is a little bit of a mistake if you're Ego right now. They don't have the Reinhardt, so that is kind of working towards Bastion, but at the same time, they've got nothing to protect that Bastion from all the onslaught of damage that Final Six is gonna have. It's just a matter of who can get back there, I guess. So... Right. It's gonna be a little bit of trouble. Did the Overguard stream the quarterfinals, says Emma Mario? No, we didn't, man. Bella actually took care of most of the quarterfinals for us. We did leave out 1, which was Final Six versus 24K. Final Six obviously taking the victory. And that was the only one that wasn't streamed, if I'm not mistaken. Final Six able to hold off that first team fight here from Ego. We do see Such Clutch switching off the Bastion, going over to a Roadhog now. So I think Ego, knowing that that's not going to work out for him, I think that was a good pick for the side of Ego. Final Six coming out. They've got 2 ults leading into this team fight with Poppy Conrad and Fernie ready to go. We're going to see Dream Airs probably pretty soon in Wonderfuls as well. Ego electing to take the backside to come around towards the front of the payload. Poppy Conrad immediately busting out that rocket barrage, picks up 2, gets marked and OG Comedy out of the way. Relux finishes off Such a Clutch, and that big hook from Wonderful hooks down 6 God, takes out that Mercy. So no res anytime soon for the side of Ego. They're gonna have to visit the spawn point and come out once more. Fernie takes out Legit, so that's gonna be a little bit of a split res for the side of Ego. They're gonna have to wait for that Lucio now to be able to do anything. I've never seen no Ryan without dive comp, says Supreme Aarons. I don't know, man.
I mean,
so Ego,
they're not running Ryan, but it's working.
Yeah, I mean, well, Ego's not running to Reinhardt anymore either. They've got Such a Clutch sitting on that Roadhog. They've got OG Comedy coming out with the Zarya. So, I mean, I don't know. If you're Ego, I think it would be advantageous to kind of go with a Reinhardt in this situation. Maybe go with that triple tank, single DPS, but that's not what they're doing. Final Six is taking full advantage of that. Finishing off one was the whole hog being played on the side of Final Six as well. We got Wonderful finishing off Marked, Relux picking up 1, and Fernie getting 1. Payload still on pause mode with 1 minute and 20 seconds left. Final Six just very dominant in this gameplay. Dreams Air still with that Mercy res ready to go. We got Poppy Conrad, Tensa almost ready as well. So Final Six going to be walking into this next team fight with a few ults to defend against Ego. Ego is going to be coming in with Napalm and OG Comedy. There's the Rocket Barrage, not paired with the Graviton Surge. Kind of questionable in my opinion. Poppy Conrad taking out Napalm before he gets any real destruction done. Poppy Conrad also finishing off Mark, but Mark does get 1 for the side of Ego. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. We see a missed hook coming out from Such a Clutch. Was not able to hook in the Lucio, which is Tensa. And I think we're going to see Final Six maybe be able to hold this thing off. You see Such a Clutch falling to Poppy Conrad. Fernie drops the 6 God. There goes the res. No, it does not get off. The Graviton Surge from Ego pulls them in, and they start cleaning up. 4 picks now in favor of Ego as they start moving forward. Relux ends up falling to 6 God, and that's going to be it for that first point. We're going to see Ego be able to cap this thing. Kind of a surprise for me. I thought that Final Six was going to be able to hold out here.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty surprised that they were able to get a foothold there, but I think what really hurt them was Poppy Conrad was unable to get that ult off. He was unable to get any kills with that ult. I think that really hurt them.
Not to mention, I mean, a well-placed Ego Graviton Surge. They captured Dream Era in it. You know, there wasn't anything that Mercy could do at that point. She's been holding her res for the entirety of the game for the most part here. So I think if Dream Era played a little bit more defensively / ninja mode on that Mercy, I think we would have seen a different outcome for the side of Final Six, right?
Absolutely.
Especially in that situation, you know, waning seconds of that first point. You know, why come out and poke your head out if you're that Mercy?
That is such a key moment to have used res, and I think they would have held.
Right, and that goes back to what we were talking about in the previous maps, where, you know, Mercies, they seem to not have the proper timing when it comes down to it, and that's just another example of that. We do see a lot of ults coming out right now. Whole hog from Such a Clutch. He ends up getting taken out, though, by the Pulse Bomb. He was stuck in the Graviton Surge, so Fernie, noticing that he could combo with that Graviton Surge, throws in the Pulse Bomb, picks up almost a full team wipe at that point. Final Six able to hold on. They've got 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock, Ego does. So they're going to have to be able to utilize some ults as they come up. They're not going to be able to kind of set up any ults, I guess, because OG Comedy is only sitting at about 40%. Napalm's almost ready to go. We do see Such Clutch switching off of the Hog and going with the McCree. So I'm not sure about that pick right there. He gets picked off almost immediately by Wonderful, hooked in and taken out by that Roadhog. Fernie finishes off 6 God. Relux takes out OG Comedy, and it's all red as Final Six is just doing a terrific job of cleanup. Ego gonna have one more push. Legit able to get away for the side of Ego. They're not gonna be able to chase him down. Relux does get a quick pick onto Mark, though, so that's gonna split it up a little bit here for the side of Ego.
We got a Lucio hiding.
Right, the Lucio. Lucio hiding away there, not able to get spotted. Very good job for him to do that. We do see Marked and Napalm ready to go with the ults. Don't know if it's going to make too big of a difference, but I guess we'll see. Dreams Era does not have the res, so that could come into play if you're Ego. You got to get in, get her down really quick, get a couple quick picks. We do see Mark throwing out that tack visor, gets a quick pick onto Poppy. Conrad leading into this team fight. Napalm finishes off wonderful, and it's falling in favor of Ego right now as Such Clutch takes out Dream. Napalm gets one onto Relux, and that's going to do that right there for that team fight. Ego able to hold on, push this thing through. We're not going to see any stall in this point here for Final 6, so they're going to be able to cap this thing. They're going to have a minute and a half remaining. If you're Final 6, you just kind of stall, I guess, right? You just stall, bide a little bit of time, don't use any ults, and then right at the end, you drop all your ults. That's my opinion. What do you think, Bella?
Do you think this is just pure ult advantage on the side of Ego? Or is it a choke on the part of Final 6? That's what I'm trying to decide right now. What's going on? Because this is the second point they've capped in overtime. Almost overtime.
Right, and I mean, it comes down to that sometimes. I mean, it does happen. I've had it happen to myself. It's unfortunate when it does happen. It's kind of demoralizing a little bit. If you're Final 6, it can lead to a little bit of tilting. Hey, we've almost got them. We've almost got them. Damn it, they got us. But like I said, if you're Final 6, right. I mean, if you're Final 6 right now, you're sitting on 4 ults. You're about to have Relux and Tensa as well, so you're gonna have a full ult stack, and they've only got 30 seconds. So if you're Final 6, you focus on the last fight. Build up for that last fight. Fernie getting that pick right there onto Napalm. They're already 2 up. They're gonna use just about all their ults here to make sure to secure this team fight win. Fernie throwing in that pulse bomb, gets a quick pick on Such a Clutch. Legit and OG Comedy both falling here. 10 seconds still on the clock. If you are Final 6, you have to stall this out. Tensa has to drop the beat. You got to be able to play smart here with your ults. Don't leave anything left on the table. There goes that beat drop that I was just talking about from Tensa. He picks up 1, finishes off Napalm. 6 God does get a pick, though, for the side of Ego, but it's not going to be enough. Final 6 able to take this map away from Ego.
Finals 2-3.
I think that was very good for the side of Final 6. Ego, they did a terrific job. They stuck through it. They were very, they weren't exactly consistent, but they kept, they kept their nose to the grindstone a little bit. They didn't let overtime deter them. They knew their clock, and they worked really well with it. Even though they were in overtime, like I said, they didn't let it get to them. They kept pushing, and we see the results. They were able to take Final 6 to the very end point, and that's a good job if you're Ego.
Yeah, I think like you said, it was just, I think it was too many ults. Too many ults for Ego to be able to handle with such little time. They did a really good job in saving those up.
All right, so we're going to be going to the next map here. This is best of 5, right? Or is it best
Yes,
of 3?
it is. Yeah, the next map is Hollywood. That's where we're heading to. Followed by Oasis, Liang Tower, and if we get there, King's Row.
Oasis, huh? Can't believe Oasis made it into our pool.
In the finals. That'd be a fun match to see.
Batman asks, so is it 1-0 or 2-0? They haven't updated. This is 1-0. Final 6 just took the first map here. That was the first map of the finals here for the Overguard Community Cup semifinals. How did I... My phone just vibrated like you get the Twitter notifications. Yeah. And you familiar with the show The Mindy Project?
Yeah, I am. I've heard of it.
So I just got followed by The Mindy Project.
That's awesome.
That's great.
That's fun.
I'm legit. I'm pro. I retire. I got followed by The Mindy Project.
I wonder which one of them is into Overwatch.
I know, right? You got to figure somebody is, right?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That's just too funny. I've never seen it. I've never seen the show, so don't think I've seen it or anything.
It's not
Who
bad.
is Poppy Conrad? I don't know, Cheyenne. I couldn't tell you. I think it's his main account, though. I've seen him a few times in our Overguard tournaments and whatnot. Let's look here. He's at 4724 SR. So pretty beastly. Pretty beastly.
Oh, I guess
maybe he is a
Liang.
Smurf.
Sorry, I'm getting notification here from Swaggy Bretyo. They want to do.
He might be a Smurf because he's only level 81, unless he's just like new to the game and absolutely stellar.
No, Poppy Conrad's.
Oh, it's
played
Emmett Payne.
before.
It's Emmett Payne.
Yeah, I was about to say
Brett,
it's Emmett Payne.
Okay. Okay, so there you go, guys. He's a, I think McCree. Like I know he's really good on McCree. He's been doing stellar on that Farah though, so kind of awesome.
Now arriving at Lijiang.
I have 4 porn bots following me on Twitter. You want to switch Twitters? No, I'm just kidding. Oh man. Okay, so Lijiang is where we're headed to right now, guys, between Ego and Final 6 for the Overguard Community Cup Finals. This is map number 2, Final 6 tick, map number 1 on Dorado. So very excited to see what they can do on Koth. What are you looking to see out of these two teams, Miss Bella?
I want to see a Winston. I want to see a Winston here in the finals.
I
think we did see one briefly, but I'm hoping we'll bring it back for Koth.
I would love to see a Winston on Koth. I've always, especially this map in particular, I've always seen some saucy, rampage ults where they knock like the entire team off. So I would love to see it on this map, but Winston's always a fun one to see, to be honest with you. He's a fun character to play, fun character to watch play. So I always get excited when I get to see him playing.
We are going to see a Winston.
They're watching the stream and they heard you.
Thank you.
All right. Final 6 and Ego coming out to start things off here. First pick is going to fall to Fernie as he takes out 6 God. So Final 6 already a man down here. Poppy Conrad picking up 2 as he takes out OG Comedy and Legit. Fernie picking up 2 as well, taking out Marked and Napalm. Very decisive team victory here for the side of Ego. Or no, we got to switch the team names. Final 6 is in blue and Ego is in red.
Right. I'll get that done.
I almost got mixed up. I saw the names and I knew. See, I'm starting to get the Xbox guys now. I've just seen a lot of these guys play already, so I'm familiar with what teams are on. Poppy Conrad takes out OG Comedy. Final 6 doing a terrific job here to start things off for us. Very good job. Such clutch. Takes out Relux, and that's going to be one of the first picks to fall in Ego's favor here. Marked in a little bit of trouble, but he takes out Tensa before he falls to Poppy Conrad. Poppy Conrad just putting in some work. Gets 2. There goes the res for the side of Final 6, bringing the team back. 6 God picks up a 2-piece. There goes the Rocket Barrage out of Poppy Conrad, picking up a 2-piece. Wonderful. Takes out such a clutch. So I think that was a good pick. The Winston, that is, for this side of Final 6. I love seeing it. Wonderful plays a wonderful Winston as well. So it's always good to see that coming out from him. Final 6 just dominating gameplay to start us out here. Napalm ready to go with his ult. We do see such clutch switching off the Genji and going with the Roadhog. He noticed that he's getting countered by the Winston, so very good change for him. We do see Fernie throwing out that pulse bomb. Gets a quick pick onto Legit, in a little bit of trouble. It's 6 God, but the Transcendence comes out, keeping him up. Tensa gets a boop onto OG Comedy. Fernie finishing off a Mark. There goes the pulse bomb coming out. It puts in some work as it takes out Dreams Era. Fernie finishes off 6 God, and it's back and forth on the point between these two teams. Such a clutch is in a little bit of trouble. He gets booped by Tensa and taken out. Napalm gets one on to Poppy Conrad. Wonderful coming in to try to help his team out for the side of Final 6. Relux with a good dash through Legit. There's the Dragon Blade coming out from Relux as well, trying to put in some work. On the edge is Tensa, or I'm sorry, is OG Comedy, and he gets booped off by Tensa. There's the attack visor coming out from Mark. He picks up 1 right away, but immediately gets taken out by Poppy Conrad. On the side, we do see Napalm trying to contest Tensa. Last one on the point is Tensa and Relux. Such a clutch takes out 1. He's stalling in Wraith mode, trying to let the percentage go up. It's at 99% now, and that's going to be it. Final 6, very decisive first victory here for Lijiang.
We did see a Reaper counter come out to counter the Winston.
We did indeed.
0.
Do you think it put in some work though?
I think it put in work, but I think it proved unsuccessful. I think it was too late. The switch needed to happen much earlier.
Right. And when you notice that kind of stuff, I mean, we did see Ego switch things up a little bit when Such Clutch noticed that they were going with the Winston. He was on that Genji, switched off to the Roadhog. So I mean, he did try to switch on to something different, but it's not what his team needed. Now seeing him come out on the Reaper, a little bit better. Although we do see Ego kind of switching it up. We do see Such a Clutch switching back over to the Genji. Not sure about that pick. OG Comedy coming out on a Winston of his own. So we're going to see 2 Winstons for each team, or 1 Winston on each team, I guess, coming out here. Ego leading out with a Pharmacy as well. Mark's coming out on a Diva. So a lot of switching going on for the side of Ego leading us into this. OG Comedy getting the first pick, taking out wonderful Fernie, already taking out that Diva Mex. Relux capitalizing on that opportunity. Finishes off OG Comedy. Napalm and Mark both fall as well. Final 6, very quick team fight win here. Legit ends up falling to Poppy Conrad, and Final 6 is going to be able to take this first point percentage.
What do you think of that Diva pick?
You know, I don't really know. It didn't really do much for him there. She got focused down so quickly. We do see her switching off of the Diva now. So obviously Ego knows that it didn't work out either. She's just so easy to focus down. I mean, a big target, easy to call out where she's at, easy to nuke her down, especially if you're a team like Final 6. You can take advantage of a Diva very, very quickly. You know, leave her out into Baby Diva rather, and, you know, she's almost useless at that point. Napalm picks up actually picks up 2. Mark gets 1 in Such a Clutch, picks up another one, and then Mark finishes off. Wonderful, very good team fight win for Ego. I like how they switched it up. They noticed that the Diva wasn't going to work, and they came out strong with something else. And I think that's what you're going to have to do if you're Ego. Keep catering to what Final 6 is going to throw at you. Keep changing it up. Don't let Final 6, you know, get into their comfort zone. That's something you spoke of earlier, and that's something that Ego's not allowing him to do. We do see 6God up top on that Mercy, ready to go with the res. So look to see Final 6 utilize all their ults, and then Ego come on strong with a good Mercy res. Such Clutch does take out Tensa. Dreams there is up top, trying to get some heals onto Relux, who's just put in some work, taking out 1. We do see Ego breaking it down, trying to get some pressure off the team, but OG Comedy falls to Fernie. There's that res that we were talking about. We knew Ego was waiting off into the wings there, which was 6God. He was waiting up top, flew in, and now they're turning it into their advantage here. Marked, OG Comedy, and Napalm all picking up 1 apiece. Ego probably going to be able to hold on here. Last one.
We're seeing a great Winston, great counter Winston coming out. And it's really shutting down Relux's and making his life significantly harder.
Right. I mean, and once again, we go back to that Mercy as well, though. Ego doing a terrific job letting 6God wait, letting 6God get that res off, and then turning the tide from there. They were losing the team fight, immediately getting that res, turning it back into their favor. Final 6, though, now going to have their turn at that, but Dreams Era gets taken out, so no res is going to be coming for Final 6 as they start to lose more and more people in this team fight. Relux trying to turn it around for his team. He does get the Dragon Blade out. He gets 2 with that. Such Clutch takes him out before he can do any further damage. The last one on the point is wonderful. He's got to contest against Mark, Fernie, and the 6God who's on the Mercy. And I don't know if he's going to be able to necessarily do that one. It's going to be up to Final 6 to be able to get back here. Timer is ticking up. It's at 99% overtime. Timer is up for Ego. They've got to hold on here. We do see 6God almost ready to go with the ult. Hopefully she can get that off pretty soon. Final 6 comes in with a Mercy res of their own into a beat drop. Start things off for us. Napalm gets 1. There's the Dragon Blade coming out. Napalm throwing out that Pulse Bomb. Picking up 1 onto Poppy Conrad. Such Clutch with the Dragon Blade. Gets 1 onto Relux. Fernie finishing off OG Comedy. It is back and forth. There's that res coming out from Ego. Bringing the team back. Napalm picking up a 3-piece at the end. Ego holds on to be able to secure a victory here on map number 2 of Liang Tower. That was so back and forth. It was absolutely nuts. Good gameplay.
What's key here is Ego is just getting better reses. They're both playing the same Pharah Mercy. Ego is just getting better reses.
Right. I couldn't agree more with you on that one. We did see Dream Nera come in and get a res for Final 6, but we've talked about it before. The timing wasn't there. Ultimately, it ended up to a fail wipe because Ego, you know, they just ulted right afterwards straight into that and cleaned up anybody that did get res. So I think Ego doing a better job with that Mercy is leading them to these victories that they're getting right now. if they can continue doing this, we're going to be pushing this thing into another map.
Absolutely.
All right, so both teams making their way out. We do see a little bit of change. Wonderful not going with the Winston this time. He is on that Roadhog. For the side of Ego, we do see the Winston still out there, which is being played by OG Comedy. In a little bit of trouble right now. He does end up getting away and getting some heals. First picks, though, are going to fall to final 6 as Fernie and Poppy Conrad combined for 3 kills. Fernie picking up a 2-piece in that 3. Napalm, 6 God, and OG all falling right there. Relux finishes off legit, and the point is going to go to final 6 to start us off here. Relux picking up a 2-piece. And on the hunt, we do see Fernie trying to track down Marked, but Poppy lands a good rocket onto Mark and finishes her off. I think final 6 very clearly winning that team fight against a outmatched Ego. They didn't have the right comp. We do see Ego changing it up now.
Yeah, hopping off that Winston too. The Roadhog is going to make Winston almost impossible to play.
Right. OG Comedy, I think, a very good pick. Going with the Zarya. Although they are running the 1 tank, I don't necessarily agree with that for the side of Ego. OG Comedy getting quickly picked off by Fernie. We do see Such Clutch in some trouble right now. He does have his Dragon Blade right now, but I don't know why he would use it. He does get 1 pick onto Tensa, but immediately falls because he was at 1 health. Kind of a waste, in my opinion, if you are the side of Ego. There goes the res coming out from Dreams Era for the side of Final 6, bringing the team back. Fernie and Poppy Conrad combined for 1 kill apiece. And then Wonderful takes out legit. Last one alive is going to be OG Comedy as he's trying to get back. Getting some heals on him is 6 God, trying to keep him alive through the onslaught that Poppy Conrad is throwing his way. Napalm and March ready to go with their ults for Ego. We're also going to see 6 God and legit pretty soon. For final 6 side of the house, they've got almost a full ult stack as they've got 4 ults going their way with Tensas coming up very shortly. Mark gets a quick pick onto Mr. Wonderful. Fernie takes out Such a Clutch. There goes the Rocket Barrage from Poppy Conrad. Takes out 1. Napalm, though, answering immediately back, throwing in that Pulse Bomb. Picks up 2. There's the res. Coming out from Ego, bringing the team back to life here to try to win this team fight. Mark immediately getting a 2-piece, taking out Tensa and Relux. It looks like they're going to be able to take this point here. Fernie, the last one over there, trying to contest. He ends up getting taken out by OG Comedy. He was just there to let the timer run up a little bit. We do see the Mercy Farah combo still in there for final 6, trying to run the timer up, and it is. Now they're at 99%, so very good for final 6. They've got to pull out, get 1 team fight victory, and that's going to be it for Ego. And I can't say enough about these 2 teams. They're doing a terrific job of going back and forth here.
Yeah, I definitely think in this Koth match we are just we're seeing a lot of back and forth. We're seeing I would say we're on an even playing field here. It's all about the picks.
Well, here goes a breakdown from both teams. So just depending on who can get the first pick out of it, and it is going to be final 6 that could decide this match. We're going to see Wonderful take and get a pick onto Such a Clutch through his whole hog. Immediately final 6 coming out with a res, huge res. Their whole team was down, and that res brought them back. So we were mentioning it earlier that Ego was getting the better reses. This time, it was final 6 with the good res. Last one on the point is the Tracer for Ego. He's trying to contest a little bit here to run the timer up for them, allow his team to get back, but it's not going to be enough. I think final 6 has got this one in the bag here. So 2 maps to 1 is final 6 now. They do lead the series 1 map to nothing against Ego. So Ego wants to desperately avoid falling 2 maps in this series, and they've done a terrific job so far on Liang. I think that they can pull out a victory overall on Liang if they can kind of keep doing what they were doing. Ego seemed to fall in a lull a little bit there. They didn't counter pick against final 6 as much as we've seen them do. I think that if they go back to doing that, they'll have a lot more success against final 6.
We are seeing a definite, I don't know, I don't know Comedy to play Mercy, so I don't know what's happening. This is interesting. They are switching up.
Yeah, I mean, they are switching it up, but I don't know if it's for the good of Ego at this point.
Yeah.
Such a Clutch, taking a ton of damage right off the bat. Fernie finishing him up. So 1 man down is Ego to start things off. Six God evening it out, though, taking out one, getting another one as well, and it is back and forth. We do see the Pharah Mercy combo for both sides of the house. Six God, though, taking out Dreams there. I think that could be a key thing for this side of Ego. They've got the Soldier, and Final Six doesn't, so if they can keep that Soldier up to keep that Pharmacy down, I think Ego could come in with the victories here. It does look like Six God is putting in some work on that Soldier to start us off, so I think that could make the difference here.
Yeah, I'm so that switch was surprising to me, but it seems to be paying off. Six God on fire, and I believe he had 3 picks in that first fight.
Right, he definitely did. Now we're seeing Final Six switched up a little bit. We do see Wonderful switching off of the Hoggies, going with the Diva pick. So they're going to be running the 1-tank triple DPS and double support for the side of Final Six. They are going to get the first 2 picks leading into this team fight as Relux and Poppy Conrad combined for 1 apiece. Mark takes out Poppy, though, and Ego still in the fight, but OG Comedy drops to Fernie. Napalm in a little bit of trouble. We do see Mark coming on strong with a good rocket barrage. Gets the Diva out of the mech and finishes her off as well. Six God finishes off Relux. There's that res coming out from Final Six. We've talked about timing in the past for the Mercy, and that was the time you wanted to drop that res.
Oh, yeah. It's going to make it so hard for this team to come back. I think they're going to need to regroup.
They're definitely going to have to back up and regroup. I don't think they're going to have a choice in the backup. They're going to be forcibly backed up via spawn point. So good job from Final Six, able to come on there. 52% is the score on the board for Ego. Final Six now with their turn to hold it down. We do see 2 ults ready to go for the side of Ego with OG Comedies and Legits coming up very soon. For the side of Final Six, we've got Fernie and Poppy Conrad both ready to go with Wonderfuls coming up. So that could make a huge difference using that Diva Bomb. Here comes 2 ults. Or I'm sorry, 2 picks for Ego as we see Napalm throwing that pulse bomb. He does pick up 1. Mark gets 1 as well. Six God ends up falling. He did try to use his attack visor. Did not come out though. Wonderful ends up taking out 2 with his self-destruct, finishing off Napalm and Mark. Like I said, that Diva Bomb can work wonders. We do see Ego changing to a Diva of their own, which is being played by Such a Clutch. Now taken out of the mech and trying to run away. Tensa finishes off Legit. OG Comedy drops to Fernie. Fernie also finishing off Six God. Poppy Conrad takes out Mark. So in Pharah battles, it looks like Final Six is getting the advantage. I see Poppy taking out Mark more often than I see Mark taking out Poppy. So I think Final Six might have the advantage in this fight.
Yeah, that was a fantastic Diva Bomb from Wonderful, and I think we saw the Diva come out because of Six God's success on Soldier, and I think it was a great counter. Six God has been struggling now. That defense matrix just shuts down Soldiers.
Most definitely. You do see both teams dropping the beat here, but Ego gets the better end of the deal as they get 3 picks in this team fight to start things off, and the Mercy is down for Final Six, so that is a crucial pick for the side of Ego. You're not going to be able to get Dreams Era's res up and ready to go. March finishes off 2. They're going to have to fight an uphill battle, though. Final Six is going to be sitting at 94%, so that's 1 team fight win, and Final Six will be able to take this. Ego going to have to hold on through the entirety of this map here. March ready to go with his ult. We're going to see Six God as well. Such a Clutch has changed off and is gone with the Genji now. Kind of a questionable thing for me, but it could prove victorious. Poppy Conrad getting that first pick for the side of Final Six as he takes out Napalm. There goes the attack visor coming out from Six God. Immediately, the self-destruct comes out for Final Six. Does not get anything out of that. But Such a Clutch. I know I kind of said it was a controversial pick going with the Genji, but he's picked up 3 in this team fight and a 4th, taking out Poppy Conrad. We do see Dreams Era ready to go with the res, but she is all the way in the spawn point. Not much she's going to be able to do with that. 92% on the clock for Ego. They've got 1 more team fight to fend off here. We're going to see Final Six try to dive the point using Mr. Wonderful. The overtime timer is ticking off. We do got Fernie and Relux both on the point with Tensa joining in. Relux getting the first pick for the side of Final Six as he takes out Six God. There goes the rocket barrage from Mark. Takes out Tensa but gets taken out by by Poppy Conrad. Fernie takes out Such a Clutch. There's the Mercy res coming in for the side of Ego, bringing the team back. The Diva is out of the mech. Wonderful gets taken out. It is all red in the kill feed. There goes another Mercy res. Final Six bringing the team back. They've got to capitalize on this, though. There goes the Pulse Bomb coming out onto Wonderful. Takes him out of mech. Pressure is on for Final Six. That's going to be it. We're going to a map 5 here for this
Wow.
for this Koth. Absolutely spectacular gameplay out of both of these teams.
I think
we're
we are
having
seeing just
technical
fantastic
difficulties.
counters. What?
Vegas just was Vegas just lagged out of the game, I believe. You doing alright, Vegas, over there? Vegas?
That's fine. As long as the lobby stays open, we'll be good.
Yeah. Alright.
Let's see.
But yeah,
Looks like
I
I've
think we're
got
seeing
lead
some.
of the lobby, so we're fine.
Okay, good. We're seeing some fantastic counters. Like they're just absolutely countering so quickly, which is what you need to do in this game. That's what this game is built around.
Right, and
it's hard. It's
that's
almost
what we've
hard
been
to keep
talking
up.
about. Yeah, and that's what
Really
we're talking about.
fantastic.
Ego, they have to do a good job of countering Final Six because we know Final Six is going to come out and be able to counter just about everything. They are so versatile. They're able to flex onto just about any character. So if Ego can keep up with that same level of ability to flex, I think Ego has a lot better chance at winning this thing, as they have been. I mean, they've been keeping up just fine, and we see them winning team fights. So this is really anyone's game. Final Six is definitely a top-tier team, and Ego is proving that they can hang. First point is going to go to Ego here as the timer starts ticking up for them. We do see them coming out with no tanks to start things off. They are running a 4 DPS double support setup. So I'm kind of key on this. I like this. Ego, very bold decision here. Very bold decision. They've got Napalm coming out on the Tracer. We got Mark is sitting up in the air on that Pharah. Legit is playing the Lucio. Six God is sitting on the sitting on the Soldier. OG Comedy back to that Mercy, and we got Such Clutch on the Genji. We do see Final Six though taking full advantage of that. They do get the point back. They won that fight pretty easily, in my opinion. Final Six running 1 tank, 3 DPS, double support. I think you gotta have at least 1 tank in this, right? You gotta have a tank in the fight.
I think so. I don't understand what their reasoning is here, but I think they're going to be at a huge disadvantage if they don't pick up at least 1 tank.
Right, I mean, well, they do have, I mean, if you've got the Slayers, if you got the players that are able to just absolutely slay bodies like Such a Clutch, I mean, you just saw him picked up a 2-piece like it was nothing. Six God finishes off Dream Bear. If you've got the players that can do this kind of work, then sure, go with no tank, but it's very questionable. You know, you're not going to have the health pool, you're not going to have the same sustainability in a team fight that a team like Final Six would. I mean, they've got the Hog at the very least, kind of a DPS tank. It's a DPS with a ton of health. So I mean, at least they're going with that as opposed to a 4 DPS. I think that straight up comp on comp, I want to say that Final Six has the edge, but we do see Ego putting in some good work to make things happen here. Fernie throwing in that pulse bomb, gets one. Here comes the rocket barrage out of Marked, gets one as well. Such a clutch with the Dragon Blade, finishes off Tensa. Dreams Era came in for the res, was not able to get it because he got Dragon Bladed as well. Marked finishes off one. Napalm gets another one, and that's going to do it for another team fight. Ego able to hold on here. Ego doing a terrific job to start us off on this map. It's 2-2. They've got to win this to be able to tie things up in the series. Final Six already up 1 map to none. You don't want to fall 2-0 in a series against Final Six. They're just too dominant of a team to do something like that. So Ego kind of betting it all on this 4 DPS strategy that they're running, and it seems to be working out for them. We do see Relux throwing out the Dragon Blade immediately. A breakdown coming out from Ego. Relux picking up a second one. Fernie gets another one. There it goes. Final Six should be able to win this team fight. They do not have a the Mercy res ready to go on the Ego side. Wouldn't matter anyways because the Mercy was picked off. Final Six, on the other hand, we do see Dream Era ready to go with a Mercy res. Fernie ready to go with a Pulse Bomb of his own. So Final Six, as long as they can win this team fight, I think they might be able to hold on for the long term. They are going to win the team fight. It is going to switch over. They cannot afford to lose this, though. Sitting at 99% is Ego. So if you are Final Six, you're kind of in desperation. You got to be able to fend off everything that Ego's going to throw at you. So absolutely using all your ults in the right order, when they're needed, not just at any time. So watch out for Final Six to be able to do something like that. 2 picks falling in favor of Ego. There goes Final Six throwing out the Mercy res. Dreams there, bringing them back. Relux capitalizing on that, finishes off Six God. Tensa ends up falling though. There goes a Mercy res from Ego. Ego able to bring back their team And they're starting to back and forth at this point. On the point is Legit and Napalm trying to hold it down for the team. OG Comedy still over there trying to keep some heals up using that Mercy, but it's not going to be enough. Final Six is going to be able to win that team fight once again here. Final Six doing a terrific job, able to eat through the majority of the ults that Ego's able to throw out. We are going to see Mark's Farah ready to go with an ult, but I don't know. If they can contest that a little bit, they should be able to win it. Final Six is.
That's a great first pick. If they play their cards right, this will be win.
Right, and I mean they've got two falling in their favor right now. Such a clutch, taking out Dreams Era, so they're not going to be having that Mercy anytime soon. Unfortunately, OG Comedy for the side of Ego ends up falling. Big rocket barrage though from Poppy, able to take out two right there. Last on the point is Tensa, but he's got to fight an uphill battle against two different DPSers. Wonderful comes to help out here against Napalm. Last one over there is going to be Napalm and Six God. The 2v2 on the point. Tac Visor coming out from Six God. He clutches up, takes out two. And that's how you do it. He ends up getting the heals from the Mercy in the back, which is being played by OG Comedy. Such a clutch comes in, finishes off Dreams Era, and it's all red as Ego looks like they might be able to hold on. Such a clutch picks up another one. Six God and Napalm combined for one more apiece. And there it goes. Ego able to clutch and take map number 2 here on Li Zhang, sending us to the third map between these two teams.
Wow.
It's all even, one apiece. Very epic gameplay out of both of these teams. We are going to see Dreams Era on the Mercy with the play of the match. Obviously, it's going to be a res. There's that 3-piece, immediately getting the heals onto the teammates, keeping them up. Very good work from Dreams Era, able to win them that team fight.
Very intense. It was 2-2, 99 and 99. That was extremely intense.
Wow.
Yeah,
It seems like these teams are really well suited for each other.
Very much so. You couldn't ask for a better finals matchup. Ego and Final Six able to put in some work. Magical Fountain says, "Isn't it 2-1 Final Six?" No, it's 1-1. Final Six took the first map, and Ego took map number 2. So we're moving into map number 3, which is, let me look.
Oh man, 4 DPS, 2 support.
What is map number
has
3?
console gone to? I'll check. Actually, did we change up the? We said best of 5, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at the
Dorado Hollywood.
Yeah, the Battlefy, but that's not right.
Where are the new maps at?
Oh, they're picking the map, so we just gotta wait just a minute. So
Oasis. I want to see Oasis.
I know, right? So Bella, what do you think Ego did right there? I mean, obviously they were down one map in the series, able to come back and tie things up. What do you think?
Oh, is there an echo?
I don't hear
Oh
an echo.
gosh. Oh.
Nope.
Okay, it's good. Sorry, Brett was adding me. I think that they did a lot of things right. I'm really surprised that the quad DPS did pull it out for they won it. I think that Six God's ult at the very end there, that tac visor was so critical. So critical. And Six God was just able to clean up there. They were actually down initially. Ego was down, and it was, I believe, at the 2v3 at the very end, and they were just able to clutch it up.
Now,
All right, just a bit of intermission here. Who actually is streaming? Is this Bella streaming this, or is this
This is
Vegas
Bella.
streaming
Yes.
this? Is it really? Wow, I didn't know that. Bella taking the initiative. Wow. I thought Vegas was streaming this. I like that.
Doing my best.
Yeah, I like that, Bella. No one else wants to do this. So, you know, it's a little hard working out here in the Overguard staff. Appreciate it.
All right. So we got the teams on the right side. I think we got to switch the team names at the top. Final Six is going to be your team in red. In blue, we're going to see Ego. Ego going to be on the defense first. Final Six going to be on the attack to start us off here. I'm very excited to see what they do on the payload maps. Very excited. This is one of my favorite maps to play, and both of these teams are absolutely just doing just terrific work. So I
Just
think that
amazing. Yes.
I think we're gonna see some pretty awesome stuff. All right. So your defense, which is, like I said, going to be played by Ego, they're coming out already, making their way from the spawn point. We do see Six God still sitting on that soldier. They're going to be running the single tank on defense here for the payload, which is going to be played by Mark, which is going to be the Roadhog. They're going to be running the triple DPS, double support. So kind of a questionable strategy.
Ugh. This is definitely
questionable
making me
strategy.
cringe.
Lacking a
I
shield.
feel like
Bella,
you
make sure
need
to,
a Reinhardt, but
Yeah. Bella, make sure to switch the names at the top for us if you don't mind. Such clutch
I'll go
gets the
ahead.
first pick
They
for the
switched-
side of Ego. Taking out one. Mark takes out another one. Poppy Conrad trying to even it out. Gets a quick pick onto OG Comedy, but for the most part, the DPS that's coming out from the side of Ego might be a little bit too much. Such a clutch and Napalm get one apiece, and Such a clutch finishes off one more as Poppy Conrad falls. Last one over there is Fernie. He's able to get out and save himself a little bit here. It's pretty crazy, the comp that's coming out here. I'm quite surprised that it actually worked. I don't know if it's going to work a second time, though. Now that Final Six knows there's no Reinhardt, they might be able to play a little bit more aggressive. When you're playing this team, you've got to literally focus one target and dive onto them. You can't allow the DPS to have the upper hand. You got to spread them out a little bit. And Final Six is just not doing that good of a job of doing that. We do see the pick starting to flow in their favor, though, as Fernie throws out that pulse bomb, takes out Mark. Such a clutch still over there trying to contest a little bit. He ends up getting taken out by Poppy Conrad, who is ready to go with the tac visor. So Final Six ultimately did a good job of getting over there and finishing it off, but could have done a lot better job if they went in and singled out one target and just dominated him. This being chased by a Roadhog with a chainsaw, says Astria. that's a scary dream. I don't know about all that. Poppy Conrad getting a pick onto Six God. That's gonna start us off here for the side of Final Six to start pushing this through the street phase. One down. If you're Ego, you got to back up and wait. It's not like you can move forward. You're already a DPS down. It's not like you got a tank to defend any further damage. So Final Six is gonna need to take advantage of that and push forward. It does look like Fernie's over there trying to cause a little bit of disruption in the back of the lines of Ego. We do see the tac visor coming out from Poppy Conrad. He gets the pick onto Legit. There's the breakdown coming out for Final Six, allowing that soldier to be able to push forward with that tac visor. We do see the res come out from OG Comedy. Not a good res in my opinion. A good reflect coming out from Relux through that Deadeye. We saw Such Clutch throw up the Deadeye, immediately get reflected. Good work for that Genji. I've seen it twice now today, and I don't see it very often, the reflect Deadeye kills. So very good job from Final Six's Genji, which is being played by Relux, able to get that to save his team. Ego in a lot of trouble. If you are Ego, you got to change it up, right? You got to change it up.
you gotta change it up. Maybe bring out some cheese. You gotta do something.
Yeah, I mean...
you're gonna hold this one for 5 minutes if you're gonna hold it.
Right. Running the comp that they were running, it just was not working, and very slowly did they make their change. We did see Relux throw out his Dragon Blade, and he got the nano boost onto him. He got taken out though. Fernie throws out the pulse bomb, picks up a two-piece with that, but Such a Clutch answers back with two of his own, taking out Dreams and Fernie. Such a Clutch in a little bit of trouble now. He does get away and able to heal up on the side over here. Ego gonna have to do a little bit more work than that if they plan to hold this thing off, because Final Six is still pushing forward. Shield is down for the side of Final Six. They're gonna have to back up. We do see Such a Clutch coming up with a Deadeye. Ends up getting nothing out of that, but does finish off Fernie after the Deadeye drops. Napalm finishes off wonderful. We do see a switch. Napalm going to the Reaper, I think, is a good pick for this side of Ego. They have changed their lineup. They're running, the double tank, double DPS, double support. So I think a good change for the side of Ego, although a little bit too late. Damage was done at this point. They have stopped the bleeding for the most part, though, so hopefully Ego can hold on, even though they did make that mistake at the start. Big Earthshatter does come for the side of Ego. Mark gets a good pin onto Poppy Conrad. Napalm and Such a Clutch finish off one apiece. In the back, we do see Tinsa in some trouble, gets taken out by OG Comedy. Fernie ends up getting away, and another stabilize from the side of Ego, able to hold on for at least one more push. Still a ton of time left on the clock, though. 3 minutes, 30 seconds for Final 6. If you're Final 6...
Reaper is doing them all the favors.
And I mean, we've noticed that in previous gameplay from Ego as well. Napalm, just absolutely stellar player, and not just on one particular character, but specifically when he gets onto that Reaper, he just seems to make a huge difference for his team. I think, you know, anybody else on that Reaper might not be able to clutch it up as much as this gentleman here. Napalm gets another one as we're talking about him, finishes off Relux right there. OG Comedy finishing off Poppy Conrad. If you're Final 6 right now, you're in a kind of a bind, right? Ego's doing just a terrific job at defense, able to hold on. You've got to fight through so many ults. Do you change your comp? Do you just roll with what you got? We do see a little bit of a change coming out from Final 6. What do you think, Bella? If you were Final 6, would you be changing the comp up or try to roll with what you got?
It looks like they are switching the comp up slightly. I don't remember seeing the Pharah. I believe Poppy Conrad is switching off from Soldier. But I think what you do is you save up the ults and you just throw ults at them. I really do. I think at this point, this is such a hard point to break. You gotta hold the ults.
Most definitely. I mean, some good ult usage is coming out from Ego. So, I mean, I don't really know. If you are Final 6, I like changing it up. I like, you know, they're going to have to change more than just their lineups to do what they got to do, though. Because Ego's doing a terrific job so far. You're fighting an uphill battle. We've said it once or twice already. These guys get good when they've got their backs against the wall. I think you noticed that earlier. Ego does. So Final 6 needs to recognize that and not give them any room to be able to make the plays that they're making right now. We do see Napalm getting a quick pick onto Fernie. Tensa in a lot of trouble right now. Could end up dropping. Looks like he might get away and be able to survive. Ego just doing a terrific job here on the defense. They've chewed up a ton of time. What was it, 5 minutes on the clock? Now they're just sitting at just sub 1.5 minutes. Yeah, that's absolutely spectacular if you're Ego. Wonderful getting that quick pick onto Legit. They're going to be able to move forward with that. Final 6 will be, unless they find trouble of their own. They do have a ton of ults to walk in with. There goes the Graviton Surge. Poppy Conrad gets one. We do see Ego answering back, though. 5 picks falling in their favor. Last one up is Tensa. He gets taken out. Ego able to eat the ults, able to survive and get a team wipe of their own. Hashtag Gong in the chat. Let's get some Dorito chips in the chat for Ego, able to hold on through that. I cannot believe they're able to do that, to be honest with you. 30 seconds now on the clock for Final 6. This is going to be their last push. We do see the Deadeye come out for the side of Final 6. Unfortunately, or I'm sorry, for the side of Ego. Unfortunately, nothing really came of that, but it did back them up. So good job on that one. Although it wasn't a World Star ult, it was still an ult that did some work for them. Final 6 did lose one right before that went off. They are going to be walking in with 5 out of their 6 ults. We're going to see them come in now. There goes the Graviton Surge coming out from Ego. Breakdown as well, leading in here in the back. Poppy Conrad trying to get a pick, but the Transcendence for Ego comes out, and this could be it. They got to clean up the point. Last one is Relux. Once they finish him off, the overtime timer is going to tick down, and that's going to conclude Final 6's attack here on Kings Row.
Yeah, they both had 5 ults, excuse me, going into that fight. So it was definitely going to be the battle of the ults, and Ego just played it better. I think plain and simple.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely came out using their ults a lot better on that, for that last team fight specifically. Although in that last section, it seemed like they used them better than Final 6 did throughout. So I think Ego did a terrific job. Terrific job. I do see some Dorito chips. Thank you, guys. All right. So Ego now going to have their turn at offense. Do you think we're going to see an unconventional pick from them coming out on attack, or do you think they're going to go with a standard comp?
I think they're going to do a pretty standard comp. I don't think you can go into an attack on Final 6 without your best game. Final Six has the Ana Lucio, and I don't think you can be successful if you don't run Ana Lucio against Ana Lucio. The sustain of Ana is just too great for most teams to overcome with a Mercy, and definitely with a Zenyatta Lucio pick.
Right. So I guess we're gonna have to see what Ego decides to do. We do see 6God coming out on the Ana, so hopefully that pick sticks. A little bit of a prediction from you on that one with the Ana picks. Tensa sitting on that Ana. We know Tensa plays a terrific Ana, so I'm very excited to see this gameplay between these two, 6God and Tensa. Kind of a battle of who's the better Ana, who can land their sleeps, and all of that. Ego making their way through. And they're going to be coming out with a triple tank, double support, single DPS. That single DPS is going to be played by Napalm on the Reaper. Big Charge does try to come out further side of Final Six. He immediately gets hooked in, though. Wonderful getting the first pick there. Taking out Marth, immediately landing a hook onto OG Comedy and finishing him off. Wonderful. So far, starting things off for Final Six has put in some work. Ego going to have to back off and not press forward on this one since they are 2 men down. They're going to have to pull back and wait for another one. Ego starting to make their way through now. A little bit of speed from the Lucio, bringing them into this first point here. Big Charge coming for the side of Ego. He does not land that on anybody. Ends up getting pulse bombed and taken out by Fernie. So already 1 man down is Ego. Napalm tries to even it out, takes out Poppy Conrad, but wonderful. Takes out 6God. It's back and forth now. Napalm gets one on Relux. Tensa in a little bit of trouble here. Ends up surviving. OG Comedy falls to Wonderful. And there goes the hook from Such a Clutch. Ends up missing that, but ends up getting the pick on him anyways. Napalm takes out Fernie. Such a Clutch having to pull back, lands a hook onto the Roadhog, and goes whole hog in there to finish him off. On the point is the remainder of the team. Big Charge comes out from Poppy Conrad. He also gets the nano boost onto him. There goes the, he starts swinging hammer around. Relux finishing off March. Such a Clutch finishes off Dreams Era. And it's just so back and forth at this point. It could go either way. Obviously, Ego does have the spawn advantage, but I don't really know what's going to happen. Fernie clutching it up, throws a good pulse bomb onto OG Comedy. Napalm, though, takes out Relux, and it's still back and forth. It's a 4v3 on the point. Final Six having only 3 remaining, which is Dreams Era, Fernie, and they've got Wonderful over there. Such a Clutch comes in with a good dash onto Fernie. They end up capping the point. Ego does. They're gonna have 4.5 minutes to be able to push this thing through the final, or through the street phase here. Some good work out of Ego. I didn't really notice anything special, like I was mentioning about the Ana gameplay between the two. I didn't see really anything special out of them, although they did keep up their respective teams pretty well. Very long team fight between these two teams. Kind of goes to show the gameplay that we've been talking about this entire time between these two teams. Just stellar gameplay between them. All right, street phase is up now. 2 picks already falling in favor of Final Six. Poppy Conrad coming on strong, takes up 6God. There goes the Graviton Surge out of Ego and a breakdown coming out from Final Six. Relux takes out Mark, and they're going to be pushed back here. Final Six able to hold on here and stabilize the point. Such a Clutch is over there trying to put in some work. Gets taken out by Wonderful. I think Final Six did a terrific job on that defense. If you're Ego here, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think in these long team fights, you have to, sometimes it's better to just regroup. I think we're seeing a lot of long team fights, and it's not in the favor of everyone with different spawns.
Right. So Ego throws, gets caught up in a Graviton Surge, ends up breaking it down to survive, and now we're seeing Ego go blue in the kill feed as they pick up a couple. Napalm throwing out the Pulse Bomb, gets one. Such a Clutch, getting the Dragon Blade, gets another one. So they had to use a good amount of ults to be able to survive that one, to be able to push things through. I don't think they're going to be able to cap before Final Six can get back, but they did get a lot of much needed ground. But the unfortunate part of that is the further you go in the street phase, the more horrible your spawn advantage becomes. So if you're Ego, you got to push up and you got to be able to start contesting very early against Final Six's off defense coming back. You do see the nano boost coming on to Poppy Conrad right now as he starts swinging his hammer. Mark picks up one, but gets taken out by Poppy. Relux finishes off OG Comedy. It is 2 for 2 on it right now between these two teams. Wonderful. Going whole hog. Tilts it to Final Six's favor as he finishes off such a clutch. Napalm also falling. Defense able to stabilize. Like I said, had Ego, pushed forward, utilizing their DPS that they had, maybe throw such a clutch up there, throw Napalm up front, make Legit go up there a little bit with them, and fend off and push back Final Six a little bit, you would have seen Ego be able to secure more distance out of the street phase, but they didn't do that. We do see the Graviton Surge coming out now. Napalm throwing in that Pulse Bomb. And again, we see the Dragon Blade the Dragon Blade Pulse Bomb come out at the same time. They've got to be able to hold on to their ults a little bit better. Ego does. Right now, it's a little bit overkill. Am I right on that, Bella?
Yeah, I mean, I think they definitely need to be thinking about their ult conservation because definitely Final Six is thinking about it. Final Six is known for using their ults very well. Like I said, Final Six is just a very thoughtful team in their ult usage and their picks.
Right. And if you're Ego, you can't be coming in and throwing out two of your DPS ults to clear through an enemy team that's already half dead. You got to be able to save those. Fernie showing them how it's done through that Graviton Surge. Final Six able to pick up a 3-piece on that one. Payload is still moving forward right now. But like you were saying, long drawn-out team fights. They are so close, and they've still got 2 minutes on the clock. If you are Ego, you back up a little bit. You already know Final Six has got that spawn point. They've got the ults to be able to throw at you. If you were to back up a little bit and then go through them as a team, you wouldn't be losing this team fight that we're seeing right now. Fernie getting 2-piece right there. We see such clutch in some trouble right now. Ends up trying to get the dash off. Ends up eating that one, though, as he falls to Wonderful. Final Six did a terrific job on that. Once again, that was playing straight into Final Six's hand. Ego only had 3 guys up, and they decided to push the point into Final Six's 5-man that was up, knowing they didn't have the spawn advantage coming back here. Ego now able to scoot back, and they're starting to group up. We do see the Pulse Bomb on the mark. That's going to be huge. There goes the breakdown coming out from both teams. That Pulse Bomb, though, leading in, taking out Mark to start things off. That could fall things into Final Six's favor. Such a clutch is trying to come up, though. He ends up getting the Dragon Blade, picks up a 2-piece. Napalm gets 1. There goes the Pulse Bomb coming out, but the Ana ends up saving it for Final Six through that canister. Wonderful, throwing out the whole hog. We do see desperation out of Ego right now. Napalm finishes off 10, so Wonderful in a little bit of trouble. Fernie as well. There's a Graviton Surge from Ego. They've got him caught up. They've got to finish it. They can push this thing right now. They've got no contest. Looks like Ego's going to be able to take this thing.
Wow.
Ego, I think, could have done that a lot sooner. I think that Ego was going to win that map either way it went. But, like I said, they could have done it a lot smoother, a lot cleaner, and a lot quicker than they did. Doesn't really matter. A win's a win. Take it where you can get it. But had they held back, had they grouped up, it kind of just goes to show the difference between the teams here. We would have saw Final Six choke back, wait for their team. We're going to get a play of the game here coming out from the Lucio. A good boop off the edge, throwing Wonderful, and then a breakdown to follow things up. That's how you play Lucio. That is how you play Lucio right there.
Fantastic. Yeah, I anticipate Ego doing really well going into this next match. They are a team that is able to carry their momentum throughout a series, and I think I'm really excited to see how they're gonna do.
All right, so now we're gonna wait to see what Final Six decides to choose for their map going in here. We gotta wait, so bear with us just a minute, guys, as we wait for these teams to choose what map they want to be on and what side they want to be on as far as attack or defense. I would love to see another Koth, to be honest with you, or a 2CP, to be honest. Either one of those would definitely be awesome for these two teams to compete on.
I'm
All
gonna
right,
go ahead
so
and
it's
switch.
yeah, do that.
Everything.
It's 2-1 right now, I believe, right? Ego 2, Final Six 1. Is that right? Gozy, can I get
That is right.
Can I get a confirmation?
That is right.
Thanks. Man.
So it's going to be between Hollywood and Oasis. Final Six is
Ooh.
going to get their choice. So,
You're probably gonna choose Hollywood.
right.
Yeah, depressing, but it's True.
XDJ, what's the score? If you look up top, it's not up there right now. I'm
It
looking
will
at
be
the
in a
stream.
sec.
It's going up there here in just a second.
Yeah.
Actually, as I'm talking to you right now, it's probably already up there. Final Six has got one map. Ego's got two in this best of 5 series. So Ego looks to close this thing out in the final map. It is up to Final Six to decide where they want to go next. It's between Hollywood or Oasis, and it looks like Final Six is going to choose to go to Hollywood on the attack first. So let me get this switched around, and then we're going to start things up.
Dreams, or no, I believe Kieran asked, why is Poppy on Reinhardt? And he's usually the DPS main. Dreams responded with his controller broke. Emit has 2 controllers. Either he can't jump or he can't use LB. Oh god. That's terrible. It's like, which one do you choose, you know? You use LB or A?
It's definitely gonna depend on it's gonna depend on what character you're playing. If you're on Ryan, you're gonna choose LB.
Yep.
I mean, I suppose you could choose jump as Ryan, but
Yeah. That is
ill
right.
advised.
You could change the buttons around though.
You can probably have to map it to one of the sticks, huh?
D-pads or right sticks.
Or
left
D-pad.
sticks, yeah. Yeah.
All right, so this could potentially be the last map here. If Ego can hold on. Any predictions from you, Bella?
Like I said earlier, I think that Ego is able to maintain their momentum throughout a series, and I think they're definitely hype. Hopefully they'll clear the chairs, because I don't know if you all know this, but if you don't clear the chairs on Hollywood, you lose the map. Confirmed.
Oh boy.
Oh man, I did
Oh,
not
boy.
know this. Thanks for telling me.
All right, we do got to switch the names at the top. So
Did I? Oh
Final
no!
Six is going to be
Come on,
on
Bella.
attack.
Oh my God.
Hey, that's my fault. I you know, they switched at they decided they wanted to go attack, so I had to switch it up.
We're gonna do this real fast.
There you go. All right, so
Double
Ego
fast.
is going to be defending first. That's going to be your blue team. Final Six coming out on the attack. Pretty standard comp for Final Six. They're going to be running the 3-2-1 with Fernie being on the Tracer, which is their only DPS. Their tanks are going to be a Zarya, Roadhog, and Reinhardt. As far as supports, they're going to have in that back line, they're going to have that Ana and the Lucio. First pick is going to fall to Ego, though, as Mark takes out Relux. It's already one man up. OG Comedy finishes off wonderful. There's Napalm chiming in for Ego as he takes out Dreams Era. Poppy does get one for this side of Final Six, but ultimately it's going to fall to Ego's team fight victory. Ego doing a terrific job on that one, able to get first pick. Don't leave Final Six out, though. Even though they did lose that one pretty quickly, Final Six is going to be able to respond back, I think, pretty well.
I think they're just at a
What do you-
huge disadvantage with Pain having controller issues.
Right. As far as Ego, what do you like about their comp? Do you like this pharmacy that they're running? The 2-2-2?
I think their pharmacy has worked all day today, and I think it's going to continue to serve them.
Most definitely.
I do like that they're off of the 4 DPS. I think that will also help them out here.
Right. Napalm dropping down, does get a good rocket barrage off as he picks up a 2-piece. Napalm does fall though, but he did do a majority of work on that one. Ego looks like they might be able to stabilize this point. Such a clutch. Picks up 2 as he finishes off Relux and Dreams Era. So yeah, Ego doing a terrific job. Just like you were saying, that pharmacy has been working, and he's proving it once again. Able to come down there, pick off 2. He did fall, but ultimately his team was able to back up those 2 kills with the remainder of team fight win. So good job for the side of Ego. They're good. They've already got everybody back, and now it's just they've got to do it a couple more times here. Here comes the Earth Shatter coming out from both tanks. We see Wonderful having the nano boost on him. Breakdown coming out for the side of Ego, trying to keep the team up. Such a clutch. Tac vising gets 2. OG Comedy getting 1. That's going to be another team fight victory for Ego here. Such a clutch. Just putting in some work. A good place. Helix Rocket finishes off Poppy Conrad. Napalm finishing off Relux. And that's, like I said, another team fight victory for Ego. doing a terrific job to start us off here. 1 minute and 45 seconds remaining on the clock. Ego looking so strong. I would not be surprised if Ego was able to full hold on this one. Would you, Bella?
I would not. Such a Clutch is incredibly strong on this soldier, just putting in massive amounts of damage. And without Pain is their main hit scan, and without that to counter, I don't know if Final Six has a response.
Yeah, I mean, Ego looked like they could have been in some trouble right there. I don't know if they could still be, but their Mercy got picked off right off the bat. I think Poppy Conrad solo ulted the Mercy, knowing that she was going to be a threat, knowing that she could have that res. We do see Legit over there still trying to contest. So was Napalm. Napalm getting taken out. Point is still being contested. There's that res coming out from Six God. I do not know how many she got, but we do see the Reinhardt back on the point. He ends up taking out Relux. He gets taken out by Poppy Conrad. And right now it's just a stall for time. Such a Clutch taken out by Poppy. Poppy doing a terrific job on that soldier.
Yeah, I think it would have been in the best interest of Ego to just go ahead and set up, because now they're very scattered going into this
right.
phase.
I think that I want to say that Ego was only able to get a solo res out of that. Am I mistaken? I couldn't count how many she brought up.
I believe it was a solo res on Napalm, because Napalm had his ult, but he was unable to get any picks with that.
Right. So I mean, I think you're right. You know, pulling back, allowing Final Six to go ahead and have it, because they were in that situation. Very rarely do you see a team able to come back to hold. So given that track record, if you're Ego, you just let them have it. You know, save your ult, because at that point you already wasted Six God's res. So I mean, it didn't weigh out very well if you're Ego. Final Six though is coming on strong right here. We do see 4 picks now falling in their favor with that pulse bomb and the tact visor being used on Final Six. They're able to push this payload pretty quickly through the street phase. In the back, we do see the Mercy, and we do see the soldier still for Ego. They're split up a little bit here. I think that's going to be a little bit dangerous for Final Six. I don't think they know they're back there. Here comes the breakdown out of Ego leading into this team fight. Relux picks up one onto Six God. There goes a good, I think that was a hammer down from Wonderful onto Mark. They end up taking him out. Poppy finishes off Napalm. The canister kill from Tensa onto OG Comedy. I love seeing that right there. We do see the contest coming out a little bit here from Ego with that soldier dropping down, but it was only a few seconds. 3 minutes now going to be on the clock for them to push it through this final studio phase.
Yeah, I think it would have served them much better to just allow the Mercy and the soldier on the side of Ego to just have allowed them to get picked, so they could have grouped up with their team. Having, I think it was a 5v4 going into that fight, and it did not do them any favors.
It really didn't. I mean, Ego took a ton of time to get that soldier in position with the Mercy. They tried to elect to go up high ground, and by that time, Ego was already, you know, the whole team fight was over, and Ego had already lost that team fight. So, very good gameplay out of Final Six to recognize that they had that team fight in the hand, and they pushed forward and utilized some good team kill on that one. Relux gets the Dragon Blade through the Nano Boost, and he gets 2 with that. There's the Rocket Barrage coming out from Napalm. He picks up 2, but it's not going to be enough here. Final Six is going to be able to walk this thing through the remainder. We're going to see a little bit of a trickle from Ego here to start things off. There goes the pin in from the tank on the side of Ego, which is being played by Mark. He didn't get anything out of that, as he was pulse bomb and taken out before he could capitalize. I think Final Six is doing a terrific job, but more so than that, I think it was Ego not doing a good job. And
absolutely,
you can misinterpret that as Gozy saying that they played like crap, but honestly, they didn't play well. They had way too many mistakes. You know, if they would have, like we were talking about before, had they not, you know, tried to rush in to save that first point, could have been a different outcome in the street phase. Had they not split up and let the soldier go on the backside and try to go up top and all that fancy footwork, different outcome in the street phase once again. So Ego really needs to play a lot better, and seems like their communication might be a little off as far as what they want to do.
Yeah, I did notice that Amit was able to get back on the hit scan, and I think that's when the tides turned for Final Six. But I also agree with you. I think Ego, they made a few too many mistakes. And I think they can come back from this. They just need to get not let this take them a step back.
Right. They definitely got to keep their heads up. They can't, let it get to them. They made some mistakes, and they're definitely going to have to improve upon those mistakes. But when you're going against a team like Final Six, you cannot have those mistakes. They did so well holding that first point to start things off. Ego did. And had they continued that same level of gameplay throughout the street phase here on Hollywood, I think they would have held Final Six. But unfortunately, due to the mistakes that they were making, bad positioning, bad ult usage, just bad calls overall, I think that's what cost them the game. We're going to see Final Six now have a turn at defense, and Ego have their turn at attack. 1 minute and 54 seconds is still remaining on the clock for Final Six for their next phase here, unless they can somehow hold Ego here. I do not see Ego as being full held on this map, though. I think Ego should be able to take this first point. They are going to be coming out with a Pharmacy. We do see them with Marked coming out on that Winston. I think a very good pick for Ego. They're going to just jump straight into this full-on dive mode. Napalm and Such a Clutch getting the first 2 picks. We do see a lot of pressure coming out from that Winston. Big pick onto Relux right there. Such a Clutch coming in strong on that McCree. Taking out Wonderful. That's going to be a first point right there. Very decisive victory. Very quick. Very Ego. That's how Ego's been playing this entire time.
Yeah.
That's them to a T. All right, so now we're going to start the street phase here for the side of Ego on the offense. They did such a terrific job getting this first point. They're going to have 5.5 minutes to be able to push this thing through here on the street phase. They've got to keep doing what they're doing, push through, get those quick picks, focus people down, allow your dive to do its thing. We do see Winston up top putting some pressure down. We got Napalm still focusing a little bit down low. I'd like to see Ego's Farah up top a little bit more, helping out the Winston. That's what I would like to see. I think they would have a lot more success, Ego would. Get that Winston and the Farah onto one target, they're going to melt them. Bernie gets a quick pick, so does Poppy. There goes the res coming out, bringing the team back a little bit here for the side of Ego. Napalm, 6 God capitalizing on that. Napalm getting a 2-piece, 6 God getting 2. We do see Poppy Conrad trying to contest a little bit using that tac visor, but I think that's a mistake. I think that Final Six is doing what Ego did. Bad ult, bad positioning. It seems to be a trend with these two teams when they get on defense. You see McCree in the back, such a clutch, trying to get a good Deadeye. He ended up missing that altogether, but ultimately, it didn't really make too big of a difference. We do see the Dragon Blade now coming out for Final Six, and a breakdown, as well as the tac visor now for the side of Ego coming out. Not much as far as exchange in regards to kills, but now we're going to start seeing them as the beat drop starts to fall off. Poppy Conrad getting that one onto OG. That's absolutely what you want to do if you're Final Six. You got to start getting these picks. They haven't been doing it thus far, but now they've stopped the bleeding. Hopefully we can see some recovery out of Final Six here. We do see Ego changing things up. I kind of agree with it. I think that Final Six got used to them running that dive, and now Ego has to change it up. And just like what you talked about before, you can't let Final Six get into that comfort zone. You got to continually be changing things up on them. Don't let them get used to your comp. And I think Ego's starting to notice that, and hopefully they'll start moving forward with that same momentum they've had in the past. Here goes a rocket barrage in the back from Napalm. He does pick up one. Tac visor is up top. Poppy trying to rain it down in the back. Immediately gets noticed by Mark, but the damage was already done at that point. And then another team fight victory for Final Six here. I think Final Six is doing a terrific job on their ult utilization. They've kind of caught up. I want to say that the dive comp took them a little bit out of their element, I guess.
Definitely. I think Ego was able to make a lot of ground with that dive comp, but they are taking a while to readjust to Final Six's counter. Final Six has been able to counter it incredibly successfully, and I mean we can see here Such a Clutch has been switching between a few characters. They're trying to figure out what's working. But they have yet to be successful, and I think they're going to need to switch up as a team. They're going to need to switch up where they're approaching the payload from versus character swaps at this point.
Right. I mean, if you're looking at the gameplay that Ego's throwing down right now, you've seen them make a few mistakes on this offense here. They pushed not as a group a few times now, and Final Six is making them pay for it. You see the Reinhardt right there. Reinhardt got separated out. He pushed up further than the remainder of his team. And Final Six able to capitalize on that, throwing out a quick pulse bomb, taking him out. Now it's just collapse at this point. Take out the remainder of Ego. Very good gameplay out of Final Six, noticing the errors that Ego's throwing out, separating them out. They know that Marked is going to make his way to the payload, and they noticed that they were able to separate the remainder of the team out from him by pushing through the middle between him and the rest of the team. Final Six just doing a terrific job working against Ego right now.
I think Ego is going to have to take this high ground. I don't understand fully why they're not trying to do that already. Napalm successfully was able to boot them off. I think that was the move for them.
Right. I mean, even then, though, we do see Final Six kind of recovering, though. We see the Tag Visor come out almost immediately, although Six God is evening it out on his own. You can't rely on that kind of gameplay all the time. You can't rely on getting lucky. We've said that before. I think it was on this team as well. You can't rely on getting lucky in team fights, happening to find a pick here or there. You've got to know what you're doing going into the team fight. You can't rely on the chaos of that team fight to dictate the outcome of it. And that's exactly what Ego's kind of doing here. It's haphazard gameplay, so to say. We see Mark charge in. They're already a couple men down. They are possibly going to win this team fight. I don't think so, though. That Mercy Res could win it for them. OG Comedy able to come through and clutch. Once again, though, it relies too heavily on the luck of the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I think that is where and why Ego is coming up short here, is they are a team that I would say is much more based on spontaneity, much more based on responding, whereas Final Six is based a lot on strategy, and I think Ego needs to think forward a little bit. The in the moment is great, but I think really think that's what's keeping them back.
Right, and I mean, don't take anything away from Ego. They're doing a terrific job.
Absolutely not.
It's definitely two different styles of gameplay. What works for Ego might not work for Final Six and vice versa. But I think that Ego has the skill level of player to be able to play on the same level as Final Six had they, changed it up a little bit and went with more strategy as opposed to spontaneity. That's just how it is. Ego now going to have their shot at this final phase here. They've got just a minute to do so, though, so they can't afford to lose any of these team fights. Big Earth Shatter from Marth coming out, getting a good pin onto Wonderful, as he also helped take out Relux. That was some good gameplay out of Ego. Good ult utilization on that one. They've got to push forward and start the trickle. You see Napalm waiting off on the side. I think that's a mistake. You've got that pulse bomb. You do know that Ares is over there, Relux is over there. Why not go over there and, finish off one or two of them and start the trickle process for Final Six? Put them on their toes a little bit more. But now that you've waited, you've let Final Six adjust to your gameplay. You've allowed them to get back to the point, and we see what's happening from this point. They're able to clean you up. There goes the res coming out from the side of Ego, but immediately the Transcendence from Final Six is going to negate that res. Wonderful, take it out. Such a clutch. Relux and Poppy Conrad, as well as Fernie, combining for some kills right there. That's going to be a team wipe for the side of Final Six onto Ego. Again, they've failed gameplay out of Ego. They should have capitalized on getting those first picks to continue to push forward. They've done that already once or twice in this game, so that was theirs to lose.
Brett did want to point out in chat that since Final Six is won, we are going to Oasis as the final map.
I just read that as well. Cannot wait, man. Oasis hype.
All right, so we're gonna see this play of the game. It's gonna be by OG Comedy being on that Mercy. No doubt it's gonna be a res. Highly doubt it's gonna be a kill streak or anything of that nature. Although that would be pretty cool to see. She gets a 3-piece right there, bringing her team back. Goes back to help out the back line and keep them all up. So good work out of OG Comedy to allow her team to win that one.
Epic.
So let's change this map, and we're going to just go ahead and kick this straight off, guys. This is a best-of-5 series, and we're all tied up, Ego and Final 6. Couldn't ask for better finals here for the Overguard Community Cup. This is absolutely awesome. You might have to switch the names around.
I got it.
Okay.
I will figure out a better better system for that if I have to do this again.
All right, Oasis for the final map. I don't know about this. I'd be throwing a fit if I was Final 6 or Ego.
This map, man.
Any map but this map. Come on.
Teams get to learn how to play this map because this isn't temporary. Like, you have to learn how to play this one way or another.
No, as soon as this map came out, I know my team, like every scrim we were in, it was Oasis.
Really?
So I mean, it is,
that's
yeah,
nice.
oh, definitely. I mean, like you said, it's here to stay. It's,
Yeah.
you know, it's gonna fall to those who are prepared. You know, there's teams out there that are like, oh, we'll never play Oasis. Well, you see it, it's in the final, so it could happen. So make sure to get to practice on all maps equally. Yeah. You don't want to be the team that comes into Oasis not knowing the jump pad locations, not knowing health packs. You got to know where all this kind of stuff is. So, just the nature of the beast. There's always maps that teams don't like in any game. So, Final 6 in Ego. Last map here, map number 5 in this best-of-5 series. Both teams putting forth just terrific effort. Final 6 winning the first one, Ego winning the next 2. Final 6 coming back to take the 4th map. So it's been very back and forth to start things out. Final 6 getting the first picks here as they get dang near a full team wipe to start us off. They're obviously going to get the first point percentage to start. As far as team comps, we're seeing the Mercy out of both teams. We're still seeing the Pharah come out from both teams. We're not seeing any tanks. We're not seeing any tanks out of Ego. We're not seeing any tanks out of Final 6. It's a pure who can slay it best kind of showdown here, coming out guns blazing, so to say, between these two teams. I like it. This is the way to do it if you're gonna do it, right? Huge team fights are gonna ensue here. Fernie and Poppy Conrad getting the first 2 picks in favor of Final 6 here. 6 God trying to even it out, takes out Wonderful. That jump pad is getting abused over there. Everybody just jumping around. I think they're just having fun with it at this point. Relux gets a quick pick onto 6 God. We still see Napalm over there trying to contest a little bit, but it is all Final 6. They're gonna hold on for another team fight victory, and that's just the nature of the beast, man. Both of these teams are very good when it comes down to slaying power, so it doesn't really surprise me to see them running a 4-2 setup. It really doesn't, especially on a Koth map like this. It's just bound to happen.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to get Final 6 off of that high ground. They are holding that pretty tight. And
and I don't see it happening. I don't see Ego out slaying Final 6. If you're gonna run a 4-2 combo on both teams, I do not see Ego coming out the victor on it. I really don't. Very strong gameplay Final 6 has. Very strong slayers. We do see the res come out from Final 6 right there, bringing the team back, even though they were losing that team fight. It kind of all for naught. We do see Ego might be able to take this thing back. No, they're not going to be able to. They end up getting taken out. I don't know what to really say on this. It's kind of chaotic gameplay when it comes down to it. You rarely see anything like this. Actually, I don't think you ever see anything like this. Final 6 is going to be able to take this first point here. It looks like Poppy Conrad picking up a 2-piece. OG throwing out the Mercy res, but too little too late. Final 6 able to take first map here on Oasis. Costs are best of 5, so Ego going to have to definitely step up the gameplay and maybe change the comp up.
I agree with Cool Kieran in the chat. I think Ego should go Winston. I mean, I don't see why we're not seeing a Winston counter to all these squishies.
Right. Most definitely.
Oh no, I've tried that. Like, I literally played against this team today, and they stomped my my pickup team.
Really?
We tried the Winston 3 DPS and 2 support. Oh no. You try to jump on Tensa's when he's on Lucio, they all jump on you. Like, I die instantly as Winston. It's insane.
We're going to see how Ego can try to contest this. We do see a 4-2 setup now. 4 tanks, 2 healers out of Ego.
Opposite.
So I don't know what Ego's realistically thinking here. Final 6 changing it up on their own as well. They're still not going with any tanks, but they are going with a 4-2 setup. 4 DPS, 2 healers with a Sombra now being played by Wonderful. I kind of see this working out to Ego's favor. That's a lot of health to chew through if you're Final 6. Even if you got like top level DPS. We do see Relux switch off and go to that Reaper. I think a good pick for the side of Final 6. First point looks like it might fall to Ego as Mark takes out Wonderful. 6God does fall to Fernie. Napalm in a little bit of trouble. So is Marked right now. But it looks like they might be able to win this thing. OG Comedy taking out Dreams there. Poppy Conrad does get a pick onto Napalm. Fernie takes out the Diva Mech. And it's just down to the tanks at this point for the side of Ego. Fernie throwing out that Pulse Bomb, gets a pick onto Such a Clutch. Wonderful finishing off Mert, who is out of the Diva Mech. It looks like it's going to flip over to Final 6 now. This is kind of cancerous.
This is weird. This is tanks versus DPS.
It's very weird to
Like,
watch,
what?
and I think it's probably very weird to play.
It's got to be.
He said this is cancerous.
I mean, pull out another word. I really don't know what other word to throw out with that one. Final 6 going to get the first point percentages here. So not really a surprise. I don't know. Ego looks like they might be trying to change it up. We do see Napalm going on to the Reaper, so they're going to go with a more traditional kind of approach with a 3-2-1 setup. Final 6 still sticking with that 4-2 setup. So I'm very curious to see how Ego plays into this, leading things off. We do see Wonderful throwing out that hack to start us off. 6God and Napalm getting the first 2 picks for Ego, but immediately the answer back from Final 6, and there goes that big res, bringing the team back to life. Wonderful getting the pick onto Mark. Wonderful getting another one onto OG Comedy. Last one alive was 6God, and that's going to do it again for another team fight. Final 6 able to bring the team fight victories. We do see the Napalm switch it over to Farah now. I don't know. I really don't know what Ego's trying. I think they're just trying to come up with something to work against Final 6 here. Final 6 very, very confident in their gameplay on that 4 DPS. There goes the breakdown coming out from Ego to lead into this team fight. They're going to be coming into it a man down, though, as Such a Clutch was already taken out. Napalm gets taken out. There goes the Graviton surge from Ego. They get 2 caught in it, but there's nobody left to capitalize on it. Last one over there is going to be 6God on that Mercy. Tries pulling out the pistol, but it's not going to work. Not enough damage output on that one. Ego looks like they could be eating another map here. That's a hole you don't want to get in.
You gotta surprise Final 6. You gotta do something to surprise them, because I don't think you're not gonna outpower them here.
Right. I mean, we are seeing switches every team fight from Ego. Now we're seeing Such a Clutch on the McCree. We got Relux throwing out his Death Blossom. Doesn't pick up any with that. So they're going with a 1-3-2 setup now. Ego is 1 tank, 3 DPS, 2 supports. Not necessarily not working, but it doesn't seem to be doing much against Final 6 here. Final 6 looks like they could get the upper hand as they take out the support. Fernie does fall to Napalm. OG Comedy in some trouble. There goes the attack visor from Final 6. Picks up 2 right off the bat. Rocket Barrage coming out. Gets taken out. There goes that res coming out from Dreams Era on the Final 6 side. Bringing the team back to life. Legit still up top on that Lucio, contesting a little bit here. He does get spotted by Wonderful and by Relux. He's on the run now. Looks like he's been taken out by Fernie. And it's going to flip back over to Final 6. Final 6 should be able to secure this point here and now. So, yeah. So 2 maps fall in favor of Final 6 in this best of 5 Koth showdown here between these 2 teams. This is a 2-2 tied up series for the finals of the Community Cup here at the Overguard. Very curious to see what comes out of the spawn points. I actually, it wouldn't surprise me what could come out of the spawn points at this point.
To be honest.
Cozy, hilarious.
I've never tried a May on this map. Has anybody had success or failure with that?
Nope, I've never seen a man. Oasis.
It's the only thing I can think of that they haven't tried, and I'm not sure it would work even then.
Well, Final Six is going to stick with their 4-2 setup, the 4 DPS, 2 supports. And Ego looks like they're going to be trying a 2-2-2 setup, going with a Reinhardt and a Zarya, with their DPS being a McCree and a Pharah. First pick is going to be going to the side of Final Six's wonderful Sombra. Just seems to be too much to handle as she gets 3 picks to start us off. 4 picks now to start us off. Just a one-man wrecking crew is that Sombra. Fernie gets taken out by OG Comedy, and it looks like first point is going to fall to Final Six here as they get the first percentages. That's just pure craziness. If you are Ego, I would... there's not much... At this point, it's kind of a... it's going to snowball from here. Final Six is going to start getting their ult and their 4 DPS. You know, if you can't stop the bleeding now, it's not going to stop. We do see them get a couple of picks here. Ego does, and they might be able to clutch it up. It looks like they will. They take the point over. Here comes the attack visor coming out from the side of Final Six, which is Poppy Conrad on that. He picks off Napalm in the back. Here comes Final Six and making their push towards the point. They get a couple of picks to start things off. Fernie over there in the back, putting some pressure onto the Mercy. Six God immediately getting some help. Is that Mercy by Mark. He ends up standing on top of a pulse bomb and gets taken out by Fernie. OG Comedy finishes off Poppy Conrad, and right now it's a 2-2 on the point kind of situation. 3, now 4 in favor of Ego. Looks like they might be able to hold on here. Coming to the point very quickly is going to be Final Six, though, so I'm really kind of up in the air on who's going to be able to take this point at this point.
This is honestly a game that's just very hard to track. I think it's very hard for... I just think it's hard for everyone involved right now. Hard to watch,
Right.
hard to play.
From a commentator standpoint, there's a lot going on. I could tell you that.
A lot of one-on-ones, a lot of...
there's a lot to track. Final Six coming in, wonderful, throwing out that hack. Here comes the Deadeye in the back, gets reflected by Relux, even though he was Dragon Blading, takes out 1 with the Dragon Blade, takes out 2 with the Dragon Blade, got the deflect on the Deadeye for a 3rd, Napalm gets 1. This is all Final Six right here. I think that man deserves the play of the game on that one. Get that Dragon Blade out, kill 1, deflect the Deadeye, and get another one. Good job on Relux. I got to give him props for that. That was absolutely...
My God.
That was heroic.
Might be a Pog champ.
Heroic gameplay from that man right there. Final Six currently holding down the map. 73% is on the scoreboard for Ego, so they got another team fight win or 2 to be able to secure this win here. Don't think that they're going to be able to do it here. It's kind of back and forth. OG Comedy and Napalm get 1 apiece. There goes such a clutch, getting 1. I might have spoke too soon. Beat drop comes in for Ego, saving the team as they clear out the remainder of Final Six. Looks like they are going to be able to take it over. They got 2 ults leading into this next team fight. It's going to be Six God with the res. They've also got Napalm with the Rocket Barrage. We're going to see Mark, maybe a Deadeye as well, within the next team fight. Final Six is going to be walking in with Fernie's Pulse Bomb. We're also going to see Tense's Beat Drop. Probably look to lead them in with that Beat Drop. It should be coming in anytime. There it is. Tensa throwing down the Beat Drop to start him off here. Six God needing to make sure that the team does not spot him. He is up in the air. He could be in trouble. Napalm throwing down the Rocket Barrage, picks up 1. Wonderful, gets 1. Overtime timer is ticking down. It is back and forth on the point. There's the rest coming out from Ego right now, bringing the team back. Good flame strike from Mark. Ends up taking out Relux, and there's the Deadeye from such a clutch. Finishing off Dreams Era, also finishing off wonderful. Still over there contesting is Napalm onto Poppy Conrad, and overtime timer's done. Ego is not going to walk away without a win here on Oasis.
Wow.
Fantastic.
I'll be right back while I catch my breath.
So much going on. I think Final Six is gonna stick on this this 4 DPS 2 healers. I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah, it's been working well.
Especially on this map. It's very open. They can control the high ground a lot easier. I look forward to them seeing them stick on it. Ego on the other hand.
Jump pad.
Yeah, the jump pad was getting a workout over there.
That was an incredible. It was incredible to watch from a third-person view. They were just all in the air shooting. What a fun thing to watch.
All right, so Final Six makes their way to the jump pad. We do see Ego starting to make their way over there as well. They are sticking with the same setup, Ego is, with their 2-2-2. It does pay off right to start things off. Mark getting one, such a clutch, picking up two. Already right off the bat, they're up three. Such a clutch getting another one, taking out Poppy Conrad. And looks like Ego might be able to secure this first point. Absolutely ludicrous.
Switch to McCree has been incredibly important to this team's success.
Well, they're going to be able to hold the high ground now, especially with Marked on that Reinhardt. I think it's going to fend off a lot of pressure that Final Six is going to be able to throw. We do see Final Six starting to change it up. Wonderful switching up. He's now on the Roadhog, so at least they've got one tank going for him now, Final Six does. We've seen him run this comp before on Liang, and it did pretty well for him. I think they ended up losing Liang, but all in all, it did pretty well. Such a clutch gets a quick pick onto Relux. Napalm following up for one of his own. Such a clutch, still putting in the work, takes out Dreams Era, and already just like that, Ego is up 3 picks to none, and they're going to be able to hold this for another team fight. Lots of people in the Twitch chat saying, what is this team comp? You know, I couldn't tell you, my friend. I could not tell you. You kind of missed it if you're just tuning in. It was 4 DPS, 2 healers for both teams for a little while. So, new meta? Question mark? I don't know.
Oh no.
That would be a fun meta though, to be honest with you. All right, so Such a Clutch and Napalm getting the next 2 kills. That's all I've been saying in the kill feed is those 2 guys for the side of Ego. They've been just absolutely holding it down. So if you are Final Six, you would think you'd concentrate on those guys. Get them out of the way so that your team cannot get killed anymore. Mark taking out Relux, and they still hold the high ground.
This hit scan battle in midair between Such a Clutch and Emmett Payne is just incredible to watch. Both guys just doing their best with this jump pad.
Right. We do see Fernie sneaking around through the back. That's Final Six. The one thing I do like about the jump pad is there's a noise associated with it. You know when somebody's coming up from behind you. So that's kind of cool that they put that in there. Ego breaking it down. We did see the Deadeye come out. He didn't get anything with it, but we do see the Tac Visor for Final Six starting to come out. He ends up getting one, but it's all red in the kill feed. Ego just putting in the work here. 99% is on the scoreboard for them with the overtime timer ticking down. This is Ego's map here. They're going to tie it up at 2 apiece.
2-2. Games 2-2 inside the round.
Right.
Oh,
so yeah, this is the final in a
Might we
best
see
of
their
5
first
series.
lead?
round. This is crazy. Oh my lord.
So best of 5 series. Both teams have 2 maps under their belt. Final Six taking map number 1 and map number 4. Ego taking map number 2 and 3. This is the 5th map here on Oasis. Final Six and Ego both tied at 2 on the best of 5. This is just absolutely nuts between these 2 teams. I think we're going to see Final Six go with more of a serious comp, it looks like. We do see Wonderful and Relux switching to go with the tank, so they're going to run more conventional 2-2-2 setup. Ego probably going to stick with what they got. It's been working. I wouldn't change it up if I were them, unless obviously something goes a little bit south, which it very well could with Final Six switching things up on them. We do see Wonderful jumping in almost immediately on that Winston, throwing the shield down, trying to keep himself up here. He does have a lot of pressure on him. Fernie gets the first pick, takes out Mark, so Ego 1 man down already. Such a clutch. Also dropping to Fernie, and just like that, it looks like Final Six is starting to tilt it their way. Relux finishes off OG Comedy, so that's 3. There goes a good boop. Coming out, Relux takes out Legit. Tensa finishes off Napalm, and that's going to be a first point hold for Final Six. I'm sorry, first point percentage for Final Six. I think now that Final Six is taking this a little bit more seriously, I think Final Six might have this one in the bag. Ego obviously going to have to switch things up. We do see him switching things up right now. We got Six God switching off. He's going over to that Zenyatta. Napalm going over to the Reaper. So I like what Ego's trying to do here. Obviously, they notice what they got probably won't work, so they're automatically going to switch things up to try to counter what Final Six has. What do you think about the switches here, Bella?
I think potentially the Reaper, if the Reaper can get close enough to Final Six's tanks, that will be invaluable, those picks on those tanks. But the whole question is, will Napalm be able to get close enough with the strong backliner on Fernie on Tracer and the hit scan of Bean on the Soldier?
Right, he is absolutely dominating on that thing. Poppy Conrad is for that soldier. He does have the mercy boost too, so that plays a huge role in Final Six's ability to nuke people down. Keeping that mercy onto that soldier, allow him to put forth that damage. Attack visor going out right now. Damage boost attack visor. He gets 2 right off the bat. We do see wonderful rampaging on. Takes out 6 God, Poppy and Tensa. Combined for 3 more kills. Poppy getting 2 in those 3. And that's it. Hashtag gong in the chat for a team wipe. Final Six able to hold on once more. I don't think that the Reaper was really working out. It would have, like you were saying, had he been able to get to him, but he's just not able to put down that work. That's a big boop coming out from Napalm, shoving Tensa off the edge. Ego now going to have to make their way in very quickly, but Fernie evens it out, throwing in that pulse bomb, gets 2 right off the bat. There we go, marked, hammering down, ends up helping his team out. Flame Strike to finish off. Wonderful. Last one on the point is Fernie. They're going to be able to hold on here in overtime. Yeah, start things off. You got to get that pick to start off the whole thing, and recognizing that you're a man up and able to push in, that was absolutely the way Ego wanted to do things. You got to have that. You got to be able to take advantage of those kills like that. Wonderful jumping in on that. Winston trying to put some pressure down onto the D-line of Ego. Here comes the breakdown out of Legit. Immediately a breakdown coming out from Final Six to try to help their team out. Poppy gets 1, OG answers back, getting 1. There's the Graviton coming out from Ego, and the Res coming out as well. Such a clutch, picking up 1, OG picking up 2. Fernie gets 1 onto OG Comedy. Big team fight on the point. We do see Mr. Wonderful on the hunt, trying to take out Such a Clutch. He's trying to put in the work immediately, though. Such a Clutch getting some help from his teammates. Turns around to finish off Wonderful. They're going to be able to hold on. It's all down to this, guys. This is the Community Cup Finals, best of 5 series, and this is a best of 5 map. It's tied up 2-2 in all aspects of the game, and whoever wins this particular map takes home the trophy. That's how it comes. You see Hazelroth in the chat saying Ego comeback hype. It could very well happen. We do see 6 God getting potentially boofed off the edge, ends up saving herself. We do see Poppy, Tag Visor, gets 1. Rampaging Monkey gets 1. Napalm throwing out the Rocket Barrage does pick off 1, but Final Six looks like they've got this team fight in the bag. Napalm's the only one left. He gets spotted out by Wonderful. Looks like he might get taken out here. Dreams Era taken out by Such a Clutch. Last one over there is going to be Legit. He's still there to contest. He's got to get on point. He does, but immediately spotted out. Wonderful on his way up there to try to finish him off. Tensa goes up to help out as well. Mark does get back to try to help things out for the side of Ego, and it's now just trickle for the side of Ego. They've got to be able to survive this. Relux taken out. Such a Clutch. There's the Graviton Surge from Final Six. Trying to clean things up is Wonderful. Full trigger down on him. Takes out 6 God and a good bounce onto Mark. Takes him out. Last one on the point is going to be OG Comedy and Legit. Legit up top trying to stall things out. He immediately gets noticed by Wonderful jumping up there to take him out. Overtime timer is ticking down. They take him out, and this could be it. It could be over. Final Six is your Community Cup champions.
Wow.
Very hard-fought victory for Final Six.
Man, I just want to point out that Such a Clutch was behind the point, like ready to contest, but he oh my lord, just if you just had your cam on the Reaper at last second. Oh my, he was so close. He turned around to see if his teammates were behind him. I don't know why he did that. You just. I'm gonna show it on Twitter.
All right.
That's crazy.
So,
all right, well, that comes to it.
So that's it, guys. Final Six takes the Community Cup here for the Xbox Overguard Community Cup. Congratulations to Final Six. Very good victory for them. Ego put up a huge fight. So congratulations to Ego to make it to the finals and put up such a strong fight against Final Six. Tomorrow we're gonna have PlayStation. Same thing, Community Cup, guys. So make sure to tune in tomorrow. Same good time, same good place, and we'll get some more stuff out there for you guys to watch. Gotta love it. For tonight, though, I'm going to be signing off. I know Bella's still here. Bella, if you want to give a shout out to your Twitch and Twitter, you were such a great help by streaming all this for us and coming in to help me commentate. So go ahead and throw out all your social media stuff.
Thank you so much. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Bella391, Bella with 3 L's. If you want to follow me on Twitch, that is the same name, twitch.tv/Bella with 3 L's 391. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so glad I could help you all out.
All right, guys. So that's it for the Overguard here today. Once again, tune in for tomorrow. If you are not in our Discord, we're going to pop that into the Twitch chat for you so you can click the link and join our Discord, chat with all of us, chat with the staff, and see how you can get into all these leagues and events. That's all I've really got, so I'm signing off. Bella, if you want to close us out, everybody have a good day. Thank you for tuning in.